People had mixed opinions, but that was a thing. And so a lot of people said, wow, as soon as he got lunch with Jay-Z, he's... So they say fans are questioning why Lil Russell signed to Roc Nation. He talked all the shit about labels. So this became a thing. So Lil Russell talks all the shit about labels and how they scam artists and even created an avenue for an independent to actually make a coin for their music just to sign to Roc Nation. One fans are questioning why Lil Russell signed to Roc Nation. He talked all the shit about labels. So this became a thing. So Lil Russell talks all the shit about labels and how they scam artists and even created an avenue for an independent to actually make a coin for their music just to sign to Roc Nation. One thing these niggas do is going to sell their soul to the highest bidder. Okay. People had mixed opinions, but that was a thing. All right. So a lot of people said, wow, as soon as he got lunch with Jay-Z, he's sold himself. Right now, I don't necessarily think that, but apparently they're going off his own words. So that's the precursor of he's just came off of a lot of negative polarizing move by going to Roc Nation. Then he gets on a podcast and it goes viral for what he said about Wayne. And then I want to go back to get the full context because I think he tweeted out saying this is a full context. Let's see what he say. And I don't want to take no one out of context. So where did he say it? He says, full context, case closed. Wrap it up. The media will have you making an enemy out of your hero. Weezy, I love you. Good day, loser. So let's get the full.
Then I found Lil Wayne. You know, one of the homies put me on Wayne, and it was like bars. I used to have a notebook, bars.
What was your introduction to Wayne?
So there's two introductions to Wayne. Yeah. There's an introduction to Wayne that's through culture and your parents that you have no merit in.
Right.
And then there's an introduction when you get to like dive. And mine's, I think it was like the Drought 2. And that was like my reintroduction to like, man, dedication mixtapes, the droughts. Like I just got immersed.
No
this was pre No Ceilings.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Carter 1 and Carter 2 were amazing.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're like positively talking about Lil Wayne because our last guest shat on Lil Wayne so hard.
I love Wayne so much, but I understand how someone could be like, man, this isn't the Wayne that like I remember.
Right.
You know? No. I had a moment in my journey.
Did he do like a bunch of jump cuts while he says he's providing context? This is crazy. The idea of providing context is unedited. So if this was a 5-minute convo, put 5 minutes, not jump cut to make a point, right?
Where I had grew a disdain for Wayne just because I started listening to everything. Like I started maturing as a human, and I'm like, damn, I love you because I learned how to rap to you. But when you look at the contribution, it's like, man, but he was also a kid.
Yeah,
Wayne was a kid.
Yeah. He was like 50.
Oh, so the jump cut actually took out the part where he said this nigga not rapping about nothing.
14, 15 when he
came out.
A
kid.
Like, you know, because think about it, he was dropped out of school at 13 years old. Like,
right.
You know, you're just like,
and he was adopted by gangsters, indoctrinated to a whole system.
Projects. Yeah.
It was like he gave everything he could.
So the jump cut takes out the majority of what people are trying to get at him for, which is you criticize Wayne. Okay, so now he's made a public announcement. Let's hear what you guys say.
I'm gonna blow the whistle on the industry real quick. And the industry is two forms of marketing that's used heavily. It's seeding and it's clipping. Whenever you see academics, say cheese, rap, bars, etc., all posting the same thing around the same time with the same narrative, that's a seeding campaign.
Okay, first and foremost, and I will address everything here, but could we address the cameraman is out of breath more than the guy he's filming? The cameraman is out of breath. We're hearing him breathe too heavily, and I'm actually worried that we might need to call an ambulance by the time they get down this hill. Okay. Let's go back now.
Blow the whistle on the industry real quick. And the industry is two forms of marketing that's used heavily. It's seeding and it's clipping. Whenever you see academics, say cheese, rap, bars, etc., all posting the same thing around the same time with the same narrative, that's a seeding campaign. That means someone gave them a budget and some content and a narrative to spread to the world. These two things have been monumental.
Okay. Let me address the obvious. I'm the media guy. Number one, he's right. He's right as the two main form of like promotion these days is seeding and clipping. That's actually true. The only thing I would say is that, with all due respect, and it's going to sound really big-headed, because I am top dog and top Don Dada, we don't do, everybody's copying what's being said over there. We say what's going to happen, and everybody else got to copy it. That's just what it is. And also, you know, I specifically make sure that there's nothing going out on my page that I don't agree with. So if y'all is, for example, I turned down, I don't know, actually I kind of got an idea who was paying for it. During Cardi's last tour, there was people paying to shit on Cardi, and I specifically told him no to probably about like 15 grand. I said, bro, Cardi's my friend. I'm not posting bad about Cardi. Like, it's not happening. You know what I'm saying? It's just not happening. So again, every media platform has that opportunity, right? I just know that we could dictate. Like, I'm happy to be in the position we are. So I'm not saying what he's saying is wrong. I'm just saying that we dictate what narrative we want to go with. Okay, that's the editorial control we go with. So you can't tell us to say X, Y, and Z. You know, now you could tell us, hey, alert people that a song is out. That's who cares. But if, for example, and people do hate campaigns. You know what I mean? People do hate campaigns on whoever. I know one was being done on Cardi. One was being done on. I actually talked to a rapper about it. There was one being done on. I got offered one on ASAP Rocky, and I told them no to, because I said, bruv, like, I'm trying to do an interview with him. What the fuck do I look like? Just putting a hate piece. Well, it's kind of factual. It's about his numbers. No, I'm not doing that. But yeah, these things happen. I'm not gonna lie. What the fuck? Like, I'm the most truthful nigga in this shit. Like, you know what I mean? You know what? I could tell people and still, like, I'm gonna still do what I'm gonna do. The fuck?
Beneficial to artists like myself as well, because whenever I have a viral moment, I'm able to mass distribute the moment to the world. On the flip side of that, most of these places don't have no integrity.
Hold on now. Stop it.
So as long as you got the budget, you could get them to post anything and use their platform. Yesterday, probably like 20, 30 platforms across Instagram and Twitter all posted the same clip of me at the same time with the same narrative.
Now, that's where I got to pause him and also say, first of all, yesterday was Valentine's Day. I'm not thinking about LaRussell on Valentine's Day. Also, if this was a campaign, I wasn't offered it. So I'm not going to say it doesn't exist. I wasn't offered it. But also, we didn't post about it. Or I didn't post about it. The second thing, right, is that this idea, or what did you just say about, like, no integrity?
With the same narrative. 30 niggas thinking the same thing, watching the same interview at the same.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you here. And this is what LaRussell might not understand, right?
See the USA in your Chevrolet. America's asking you to call. Drive your Chevrolet.
Let me tell you how hate campaigns work. I'm giving you the real look behind the business. That means there's some other entity that got so much money, not only to promote their own shit, they got money to try to make someone else who they might be competing with not look good. So when I tell you that someone, and again, I could probably find it, but I don't care to find out because, you know, it is what it is. Someone wanted, and I told Cardi this too. Cardi knows this. I told Cardi, I said, Cardi, they wanted me to post this. By the way, I can tell what it was. They were trying to have me post at Cardi's Complex Con where he promoted, when him and The Weeknd popped up and they did Timeless and previewed, I think maybe Rather Lie. They wanted me to post, they sent me something, and it was like the back of the crowd where like zero people or no people are, or they were by the door where people are walking out. And they're like, look, Cardi's playing on stage and people are walking out. Put that out. And I'm like, it's not going to happen. Okay, not posting that. And number one. And number two, I've seen 1,000 other videos of Cardi killing it. I'm not posting it. I sent it over to Cardi because also I like to see where this is coming from. Cardi's not a media guy like that, but I kind of, I talked to enough people. I figured out kind of where it was, but whatever. So these things do happen. I'm not going to lie. What I'm saying to LaRussell is, brother, with all due respect, I don't even think that there was a campaign behind that. It's you mentioning Lil Wayne and criticizing Lil Wayne. Put it like this, with all due respect to him, I think I'm a bigger name than him, respectfully, when it comes to media, right? When I give my honest opinion, and I've always said, like, Lil Wayne's catalog and Lil Wayne's whatever has aged kind of like milk in the sense of, I think he's Allen Iverson of most of these, like, great hip-hop artists. And it's because in his prime, AI was, like, the best. But later on, when old niggas talk about his rings, he doesn't seem as great. But he is great. And that's what I look at Wayne as. When now niggas talk about your classic albums or whatever, a lot of the Wayne shit is, if you were there, you knew. Or, you know, there's so many unofficial mixtapes, so many Lucy songs. Verses are great. But, like, if you weren't there, you probably wouldn't know. Right?
Yeah,
as opposed to, like, let's say 50, like, you got quintessential albums.
If you weren't there, you definitely don't know.
I go super viral for that, too. People love Wayne.
You definitely don't know about Weezy if you wasn't there, because, bitch, wasn't nobody dropping shit like Weezy was ever, bitch. Weezy was dropping shit like Tupac did after he died, bitch. That's how Weezy was dropping shit. You remember? I don't know if niggas know. Niggas don't know how Tupac was dropping shit after he died. Some niggas, but if you was around Tupac, bitch, all them albums after Tupac died, I'm talking about, man, Weezy was dropping mixtapes. every other week, nigga dropped a mixtape, man. There's some off-brand ass mixtapes, some shit he just straight spitting on,
Like
straight
that
ball.
usually, I've said that like a couple times, and it always goes way more viral than I ever thought it would be. Why? People love Wayne. That's the thing. They love Wayne. So I don't think this was a campaign, sir. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Not saying every campaign would come to me or would offer. I'm not saying that, sir. What I'm saying is that I think someone posted you online talking shit about Wayne, and every blog, if I wasn't just cool in having my, not anti, but just, having a me day, everybody have the Valentine's Day. This was Act of Valentine's Day. I state to myself, you get what I'm saying? And, yeah, if I didn't have that and I probably saw this clip going around, I would have posted it, maybe. But the only thing I'll be like, do people really know LaRussell like that? But if they did, like, for example, if Fabulous said that, I'm posting it, 100%. If Fab said that, I'm posting it. Like, if Finesse 2 times said it, I'm posting it. Of course, like, nigga, you're talking about Wayne. Nigga, if you said something about, like, yo, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, niggas be on Drake dick, but he suck. Everyone's posting that too. Again, what I would consider seeding for an artist like you is when you're not speaking about something that or someone that everybody's interested in, respectfully. If you're saying, man, what people don't know is that, like, yo, my first hit record, I recorded behind a trash can at Checkers. Okay, nobody really gives a fuck about that, but, it's a cool story. If your label seeds it, yeah, it'll be a viral story. Cool, whatever. Yeah, so that's a seeding story. You talking about Wayne and what people think is hating on Wayne, nigga, nobody got to pay for that. Niggas want that to go viral just to clown you. Niggas love Wayne, bro. Nigga, every time I talk about Wayne, they get at me. And I think I'm more popular than you. Respectfully. People just get at me like, yo, this fuck nigga act. That's why we don't like him in hip-hop. Yo, they love Wayne, bro. It is what it is. Ain't nobody pay for that.
None of them have ever posted anything from me.
Because you're not speaking about Wayne. Speak about Youngboy and it'll be plastered over the internet too. Speak about Drake. It'll be plastered over the internet too. Especially if you're criticizing them.
Especially.
You know who's going to make it viral first? The audience that loves those people. Then other people say, oh, okay, this is kind of going viral. Let's post it too. Not going to lie. Blogging is kind of a little bit monkey see, monkey do. I can't cat.
They ain't posting when I paid rent in my hood. They ain't posting when I bought our restaurants. They ain't posting when I helped these kids.
That's what your label is supposed to pay for, bro. Like who the hell is like, yo, let's go to LaRussell's feed to see if he gave some kids $100 in his hood. No. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm just speaking about what people are interested in. I'm not trying to even diss you, sir.
They ain't post nothing I've ever done. But randomly, they all watching this interview and decided we should post this. And the title says, LaRussell says this about Lil Wayne after signing to Jay-Z. What the fuck that got to do with anything? That's somebody with a budget.
They got something to do with everything.
And the narrative saying, hey, go run this. Niggas want to try to tarnish what a nigga built, but you can't. The problem is God chose me, nigga. Man can't stop what God put in motion. They doing everything they can because I did everything they can't, nigga. I broke the system. I made it from my fucking backyard. It ain't ironic that all of a sudden niggas talking about LaRussell everywhere at the same time with the same narrative. It'll never work, nigga. I'm from the fucking Bay.
You know why? Because you signed to that nigga that's from the East Coast. You signed that deal, sir. You said you broke the motherfucking system and all that shit. And the main nigga that they send to control niggas from doing the very thing that you doing, you done signed to him, nigga. Nigga, you fell right in the fucking into the trap. Niggas just be. But the check must have been great. You must got ownership or something. You got something that made it worth it for you. It was something. I know it was something lucrative in that deal to make it worth it. But nigga, don't be acting like you don't know who the fuck pushing in there. Nigga, your label is doing that. That's your promotion. This is your new promotional machine. This is the machine behind you now, boy, at work. Congratulations on your new endeavors. This is your machine at work, boy. You know that.
Nigga, I break the internet. The internet don't break me. In the words of the great Dwayne Carter, real niggas fuck with me and I don't give a fuck who don't. And niggas can spin it however, but my message was...
Yo, his health app must be going crazy. He's getting them steps in. Shout out to him.
Wasn't even out of malice. I love Wayne. I wouldn't be the rapper I am today without. He inspired me to do so much. He inspired me to have bars. But he also inspired me to smoke weed, sit lean, fuck bitches, shoot guns.
Now, I'll kind of end this and give him this. Again, you're listening to Ak, who's the most transparent person in media. Sir, I'll give you this. I won't necessarily say cheese, but I do think this narrative right here. So this narrative right here, this one, this right here.
Today I'm going to make a beat. We're going
This
to
one right.
Output's new plugin co-producer. Play your beat.
This one
It's
right.
going to analyze it.
This one right. This one.
You put in the key G minor and then describe what we
This one right.
That start like first of all, respectfully to you, a lot of niggas didn't know you were even independent. Respectfully, I know you probably think they do. A lot of people didn't know. When I did see blogs start posting that, you're selling out. I personally do believe that whoever your distributor was did run a hate campaign on you. I'm not gonna lie. I do think that for that. But this Wayne shit, we want to talk about you and Wayne. Nigga, we would talk about, we might talk about AOKD trying to diss Wayne. We might talk about, D Savage talking about. These things we don't give a fuck about. We just gotta be out. We love Wayne. But I think you're a little bit probably jaded. Welcome to the industry, first of all. But you're jaded because I think this right here, whoever you used to distribute with that you probably left, what I believe is they want to get at you for leaving them. So they ran this to get a thing about you being a hypocrite to put you in a weird spot because your distributor, and again, I'm always right, brother. Come on. I guarantee. So this is why you have that thought. The Wayne shit, nah, nobody's doing that. I'm sorry. Nobody's trying to pay for your paying on Wayne. No. But this I do think, because this came right around the time of the announcement. I agree with that. Your last distributor who used to get money with you, who knows? They probably made $500,000, $1 million with you. They probably a little salty. They probably put, I don't know, 30, 40 grand into the ecosphere. Let's kind of ruin him a little bit that he knows you fucked up by leaving us. Yeah, probably, right? I think I gave you credit. I don't care if you sign a Rock Nation, my nigga. That don't mean you're the big bad. Listen, Rock Nation has their tactic. I'm not saying you can't drop music with them. It's not like I have beef with Rock Nation artists. No, go do what you got to do. You got family to feed, whatever, right? All right.
Yep, you don't get that much.
So they say fans are questioning why La Russell signed to Rock Nation. He talked all the shit about labels. So, right? I gave a lot of credit to Van Lathan because I remember having a conversation with him on the phone, and I forgot what the conversation was about. And he said, the first conversation that we had, he was kind of like, yo, Ack. He was almost kind of like saying, Ack, you're a little bit out there now. Yo, Ack, you're super smart. Yo, what's going on? So I'm telling him all these things. I'm like, and he says, well, okay, all right, you're making a lot of sense. That's not in my wheelhouse. Then he divulges something to me. And he basically, I was basically saying, listen, Rock Nation is the invisible hand in the industry. Respectfully, they're the invisible hand, right? They're the only entity that has some cultural, they have cultural necessity, but they have a heavy-handed approach, but it's not within the normal figures. I think at this point, if Jay-Z came out to tell you, hey, buy this boat because there's a flood coming, we all know he's putting you on the boat to basically poke a hole in it and have y'all drown. Come on, let's be honest. If you believe Jay-Z in 2026, you're an idiot. Come on. He fooled us 10 times. Yo, everybody move out of Brooklyn. We got some good project for you. We got to bring the arena in. By the way, one thing I forgot to bring to the attention of Vlad, and I'm pretty sure, see, people like Vlad, I don't think Vlad is, he's not paid shill. He's intellectual ignorant. And also, a lot of things until it affects you in some way, you're going to chalk it up as coincidences, right? Now, this is going to be a coincidence for most people going to talk about it. So if you guys don't know, back in, I think the year is 2014. Let's look at 2014. 2014.
An IQ of 85 to 115 is considered average in the US, and IQ of 115 to 145 is considered high, and an IQ 140.
Okay. So back in 2014, there was a lot of protests in Brazil. Okay, the demonstrations of 2014 were generally smaller than those but the first week of the World Cup, right? They were trying to have this significant event, which is the World Cup, pretty much the biggest sporting event, or sporting tournament in the world. So there were more than 20 protests and 180 arrests over various cities, resulting in many police action. On June 12th, at least 6 were injured in Sao Paulo when military police threw gas grenades and fired rubber bullets at protesters. 2 CNN journalists were actually injured. The governor justified the aggression of the military police, saying that their goal was to prevent protesters from blocking a major traffic artery leading to the football stadium. Okay. Basically, again, the protest, okay? The protest I want to give context to protest. On the 27th of May, or actually, on 27th of May, 2 protesters blocked the streets in Brasilia near the monumental axis, causing a congestion. Among protesters were 300 aboriginals who went to the capital to protest changes in laws concerning the demarcation of indigenous land. Okay, I know we're in America. We don't give a fuck about what's going on in Brazil. But just to give you the plight that might align with Black people is that there were people who felt that they had some birthright and they had some ancestry related towards particular land that was really in question, not only in question for, whether it's capitalism, but also for this, football game. Okay. Protests ended a confrontation with military police. So essentially what happened is that they realized we're going to be on the global stage as any country or host country of the World Cup, right? We're going to be on the world stage. We need to quiet these protesters up. Get the fuck on out of here. If we got to throw some gas grenades at you, fire rubber bullets, we're going to need to make sure you stop protesting before the world looks at us. Essentially, it was mayhem. It was look. A lot of humanitarians said, well, is it worth having a football game in a place that is so socially, is socially broken? People are not happy with what's going on here. The World Cup is to bring people together, not to actually highlight. And I mean, it kind of does both at the end of the day, highlight the problems of that particular society. Now, that's the context of what's going on in Brazil in 2014. There's an interesting email, which I don't know why no one wants to talk about it. This is Jess Staley. This is the person who is the CEO of the Barclays. Okay, the Barclays, right? It's a financial institution. They also eventually do a sponsorship with the arena that's now known as the Barclays Center. If you go back to look at the history of the Barclays Center, before the people, there were people who lived there for generations, and based on a lot of these community laws and like local laws, it says that the community has to agree. Like the government can't just say get up and move. Right? That's normal gentrification. Like usually there's going to be a big building that's brought to the hood. They go to people, they offer a buyout that they can't refuse. And, if a few people say no, because the old grandma that says I'm not moving, it gets a little bit legal, but, they'll figure it out. Right? Essentially, a lot of people, they love that particular place that they lived in Brooklyn. And there was plans to build a arena there. In trying to get it all approved, there was many meetings, many, town halls or whatever the case is. But Jay-Z was used as someone to say, hey, listen, I came from here. I'm from Marcy Projects. I'm trying to bring economic opportunities. I'm trying to bring more money to the region. I'm not trying to kick you guys out of where you want to live that. Yes, the problems with gentrification is usually even if people stay, you're outpriced. Everything's going up because now rich people moved in there and now you can't afford it. His thing was that's not going to happen. We're going to make sure you guys who've lived there for decades and decades and decades, you can still be around. If you're in the immediate site, we're going to relocate you. Oh, we're going to put programs, everything. We're going to community build.
Nah, he didn't do that.
And I'm Jay-Z. I'm putting my stamp on it.
Nah, he finessed.
It's the same thing that happened with motherfucking Tidal. It's the same thing that happened with, the NFL halftime show. It's the same thing. Jay basically just finessed a couple niggas, got them out of there. As soon as he got them out of there, he's toasting, Ace of Spades with the white owner saying, we did it. But the conversation that we never knew is a conversation that came out via the Epstein files. So this is Jess Staley from the Barclays Group. That is the CEO, and he's saying to Epstein, he says, you know why we're not Sao Paulo? Remember, Sao Paulo, I want you to remember, yet again, Sao Paulo in 2014, it was mayhem. I want to give you a visual representation of what was going on. Sao Paulo protests 2014. It was mayhem. This is how the streets looked. I want to show you this because what's being understood and spoken about is this. So you have a CEO telling Jeffrey Epstein, you know why this isn't going on in Brooklyn? Look, this is what's going on. This is how it was. And you guys should look this up. I'm not making this up. Let me make sure you guys can see. You can Google for yourself. I can't create fake news. It's real. Okay. Again, I'm wondering why no one's having these conversations.
Do you realize how much money this will save us?
What's that?
Because it's so old and ain't nobody paying attention to it.
Look, it pulls our expenses into.
This is how it looks in Sao Paulo in 2014. Your favorite media figure got all.
Let me answer you at. nobody's having these conversations because this is what you're here for, man. It's your purpose to put us out, put that shit out, and have the conversations that motherfuckers ain't thinking about. You feel me? Like you said, man. Put that shit out then, bitch. You the motherfucking top dog,
It's time
right?
to talk about Ari. They want to talk about everything. Nobody wants to talk about situations like this. This is not being hidden. It's out there. A simple Google search will figure it out. Here's a conversation that I'm wondering why no one wants to talk about. The email from the CEO of the Barclays, former CEO, to Jeffrey Epstein says, you know why we're not Sao Paulo? Watch the TV ads on the Super Bowl. It's all about hip blacks in cars with white women. The group that should be in the streets. The group that should be in the streets. The group that should be in the streets. Let me say one more time. The group that should be even though white billionaires are saying, thank God, the black people who should be saying, we won't take this anymore. The group that should be in the streets like Sao Paulo. Let's see what the email says. They've been bought off by Jay-Z. What are we talking about? If we don't see the conversation, they love to say, well, we can't talk about the other shit where they say Jay and Weinstein because that was a random tip. That was a random tip. I can't really. This is an email from a verifiable CEO to Jeffrey Epstein that they don't know culture. Only thing they know is money. And they're saying the black people who should be in the streets protesting whatever BS we got going on, Jay-Z bought them off. We should talk about that. Where are all the people who, they love calling me a tether? It's black people shit. It's like where's the pro-black people who claim white supremacy, who claim this? They've been very silent on this. And this is the point of even the people. Where is Tariq Nasheed? Tariq Nasheed always be talking about, the white supremacists put like a black guy there to make it all good. Well, if in his terms, this is exactly what this would be. The group that should be in the streets.
What it is. That's exactly what it was.
They were bought off.
You know that.
How is this not the biggest topic? Oh, nah, y'all just pulling up. Now y'all pulling up like random tips. Let's see if we can find who these people are. Says Stalin. This is him. Let's go to his Wikipedia. He's an American banker and former chief executive of the Barclays. Okay. Man, y'all got it, man. Y'all got it. I also realize at this point, I'm like talking to myself, right? Like I think I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, yo, put Nicki Minaj and academics in a straight jacket and get them out of here. Because I think like I'm pointing out like anything I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna put it on the screen. Nobody wants to talk about it. All right, cool. It is what it is. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. I feel like at some point, y'all are gonna hear academics is crazy. They're gonna make up some other lie about me. The distraction is coming. They try to pivot us a couple times, but the distraction is coming. I'm trying to lock back in on the conversation. And again, I'm not going to attack my media compadres, but I implore y'all as audience, if you watch me and watch them, and they're on their podcast, they're on their radio show, they're on their TV show, they're doing whatever, and they keep talking about a bunch of fuckery. Maybe just say, hey, could y'all take 10 minutes to talk about this? Why the hell they're saying Jay-Z bought them out? What does that mean to you? You know what's funny? Because if it was a email saying, thank God the dumb black people who are Republicans, Trump bought out, it would be all over the place.
It'll be every fucking well, boy. You ain't bullshitting. You ain't cap, boy. I'm with you when you're right. I'm with you when you're right, boy. And sometimes when you're wrong, but boy, look here, boy. When you right, when that motherfucker right, man, I don't think niggas heard that. Run that back.
Say, hey, could y'all take 10 minutes to talk about this? Why the hell they're saying Jay-Z bought them out? What does that mean to you? Facts. You know what's funny? Because if it was a email saying, thank God the dumb black people who are Republicans, Trump bought out, it would be all over the place. Very interesting. Anything else we need to, I feel like we've been on here for 4 hours. It's kind of been exhaustive. Not gonna lie to you. I feel like we've done as much as we could do without sounding like a broken record. The point remains, I sit here and I try to be a beacon of truth. I'm not perfect myself. I also don't come to y'all as if I don't have my own biases. And, you know, I try to, if I do have bias, I tell y'all, right? Like, you know, and I would respect that a little bit more of my media, you know, conglomerate people, where if they're like, yo, me and Jay-Z got a business together. Fuck you, nigga. We ain't talking about that. I'm like, all right, I get it. But they're acting like they have zero affiliation. Like, when I get on here and it's whatever, I'm like, yo, that's my man. I'll tell you. Like, oh, that's my boy. You know, that's my, like, what you want me to be the harshest critic of my boy? You know what I mean? Like, come on, let somebody else do it for a second. I'm okay with telling people, yeah, you know, we're all human. Everybody got a little bit of everybody's acting like they call it down the middle, yet they are ignored. They're like, we don't see it and we don't hear it. It's the same time. We don't see it, we don't hear. We don't see it, we don't hear. We don't see it. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, pick a struggle. What? That's where we're at. Okay.
How did top producers get this kind of vibe without getting sued?
I read a few donations. I see you guys have mentioned like Charleston White. I did see that video. I couldn't tell if it's real or not. We can talk about it in a second. I don't know. I also got a lot of people giving me messages saying we are concerned for you because it's not that you
going too far,
don't see what's going on. They're just smarter to talk than to talk about it, as you seem to not give a damn about your own, you know,
well-being, nigga.
You know, survivability, right? Like, if you believe that maybe they have influenced whatever, maybe trying to take this person's career out, get this person off a label, do this very high-powered thing, even maybe
don't even worry about
affect maybe a court case or two, maybe start cases on people. Maybe
if you try to get you up out of here, it's a whole bunch of.
And I agree. So you know, there is a part of it that, like, this is probably why I ask my counterparts to like jump in, because I'm like, yo, it's at the point where they've attacked everybody. The next only person, if they have a list of people, they're like, we need to shut the fuck up. I think Joe has kind of resided to talking about Instagram models, so he's off that train. So they're like, all right, cool. Joe is out of the crosshairs. Milagro is drowning in legal fees, and you know, they're trying to put permanent gag orders on her, so she's out of the field. The crosshairs are kind of looking like it's on me, and I'm kind of like looking for, is there anybody that's interested in fighting a good fight, or is it just me versus whatever? And I do see Nicki Minaj over there, and again, I always say, like, I'm not agreeing with everything Nicki's ever said about everybody, but there is certain things she's mentioning about Roc Nation, and I'm gonna call it a cabal, right, for lack of better words. I wouldn't believe it if I ain't see some of this shit my damn self. I have even further theories, but I don't want you guys to think I'm cynical. I particularly think that they're working on, and again, this is just a theory of mine, and maybe I shouldn't say it. I think Jay-Z is still salty about his casino deal not going through. I think they have further plans to work together. And let's just say, without getting too far into it, I think that there's certain things with casinos, maybe online ones, that maybe other people or other rappers represent that is being maybe attacked by a conglomerate associated to that rapper or mogul, whatever, that might be with another casino. I don't know. There's some things that starting to peep. Again, this shit bigger than Nino Brown. Just remember that. This shit bigger than Nino Brown. It's a lot of shit going on here.
This shit bigger than
it's a lot of shit.
Let me tell you, this shit bigger than America.
If you think some of this
shit bigger than Israel.
Like I looked at some it always starts in the same way. There's a random lawsuit filed. They name meme pages, okay, and they made Ross. They name a popular rapper, but really it's centered around like a casino. Okay.
Shit bigger than Jesus.
But it's disguised when you look into the people who's following it. It's some random, like two random people, but they're backed by another high-powered, multi-thousand per hour law firm. Who's funding it? You do a little bit more digging and see what's going on. Again, I'm not saying everything is good or bad. I'm just saying there's a lot of hidden, I keep telling you, the invisible hand. The invisible hand. I think, you know, I'm going to be a little bit vague, but I think two rappers are at odds and at war, and it's legally and abundantly way more than what we're thinking about. And I think a lot of the legal moves you see is not just random shit. It's playing into whatever these other people's moves are. I'm going to digress when it comes to that. If you do the research, maybe you'll connect a couple of dots. I think that will also manifest itself, that I'll speak about it later. Everything sounds a little bit crazy until it's not, unfortunately. Yeah, let me read a couple donations here. Thank you guys for even tuning in. And you know, again, if you want me to break down, again, I know we kind of started with the obvious, the tweet from DJ Vlad. I don't want to keep him too long, even though we kept him for 2 hours. You know, I'll give you the real quick breakdown before I read these donations. Yes, he did come out and said he's playing around. But every statement he made, there is conversation that's bigger than just the statement. We're not saying any of these statements are actually accurate. We're saying there's a lot more questions to be asked about anything. He says Rock Nation paying him to support Meghan. Well, I would like for the discussion to be, who are the people that Rock Nation has done business with in the media that also have taken a very anti-Tory stance? Supporting Meghan or fuck Tory is kind of the same thing. Now, do I think they're stupid enough to say, hey, I'm paying you to say fuck Tory or just support Meghan? No. But I've been in this game a long time. Again, all you got to do is get in business with that person. Remember that. Incentivize them. Oh, they paid off all the jury members to convict Tory. I actually don't believe that at all. I don't believe that. Truth be told. Okay. I think they were shrewd enough in jury selection. I do believe the prosecutors, but I wouldn't connect anything to them. They bribed the judge. Okay. Jay-Z did a verse for the Grandson new album. Now, that I don't agree with, but this is where we get a little bit in a very gray area. If you guys looked at not necessarily the trial with Tory, but specifically the trial with Milagro, you would notice there was an overarching or overwhelming amount of motion denied on behalf of the defendant as opposed to the plaintiff. That was a little bit odd. Now, I would never say or utter that I believe they got paid off because I have no proof. But I do believe there was some influence there. And that's where, again, I'm not going to say it's only unique to maybe this particular situation. I think when you have a lot of power, you sway powerful people. I want to give you one example when it comes to, again, not the criminal case, but I want to say the civil case, because I saw a lot of crazy shit when it came to that. In the civil case with Milagro Cooper and Meg Thee Stallion, the judge saw cause to issue a subpoena for the deposition of many different people. I was one of them. They thought that Aiden Ross should sit before for deposition. They stopped short of actually requiring Drake just because they couldn't find him. It's Drake, so it's going to be hard to kind of just run up on him. But I suppose if they had found Drake, they would have forced Drake to do it too. Here's the interesting part about it. Remember, as I said, I was never in the actual case. I never went to a day of the trial. I've never spoken with Meg about the trial. I've never spoken to the DA about the trial. Never spoken to Tory's lawyer about the trial. And Tory has not had a conversation with me about his case outside of an interview, which I think that was just mainly a public statement. So I really have no proprietary information other than my reporting tweets about the situation. Yet they found it necessary for me to sit for a deposition. But the woman that was in court, supposedly speaking with the DA, Desiree Perez, who's the person whose name came up, her name literally came up on screen while I'm in my deposition. Her name came up. Milagro wanted to put her in a deposition. The judge wouldn't grant it. Why? That's someone who's been in the court, who's supposedly the close associate of Meg, but also the manager or the CEO of Rock Nation. The judge said no. We don't need to talk to her, but we need to talk to academics and Aiden Ross. It's interesting. So when it comes to influence, I look at that and I say that was a little bit sus. It's a little bit sus. They paid Meg's doctors a lot. Oh, so this whole thing about the verse of the grandson, clearly that's like bullshit. We don't know who the judge's grandson is. But bribing judges, we're not saying bribing, but we do think there's influence. We do think so, because there's certain things that just felt unfair in how the judge ruled on many motions, which was against Milagro. And I mean, even for Tory to a certain extent too, but mainly in that civil case, I've seen a lot of unfairness. They paid Meg's doctor to lie about the bullet fragments. I think that's for the people who they want to say, oh, you guys are stupid. If you look back, LAPD medical report, Glass, Lafredo, Megan Stallion. If you look back at it, an LAPD report surfaced online yesterday saying Meg Thee Stallion stepped on glass the night of 2020, July 2020, which resulted in laceration. Dr. Lafredo, who treated the rapper, said the injury was caused by glass and not a bullet. Okay. Last month, a medical report obtained by multiple news outlets showed that 3 bullet fragments were found in her feet after they brought to Cedar Sinai Medical Center. Okay. Now, these two things are contradictory in the same report. How come a doctor said there was the injury wasn't caused by glass? It was caused by glass, not a bullet. We get to find out. Doctor testified.
I know, motherfucker got a picture. The police definitely got a picture.
It was a different doctor. It's a doctor, I believe that was an orthopedic doctor. His name is not Lafredo. His name is okay. Dr. Lee Haruno. He's the one that was in orthopedic. So the first doctor, because they did not know the extent of the injury, they said, okay, she told us she stepped on glass. It looks like we see lacerations. It's probably glass. Okay. Further examination by another doctor said, no, there's bullet fragments. There's 2 metallic foreign bodies there. Okay. Now, this idea that Vlad is saying people are paid off. Well, you have 2 conflicting things. So let's Google it again. Dr. Leo Runo, right? And Lafredo. Okay. Now, I'm kind of going off Grok here, but Dr. Anthony Lafredo, he's the ER doctor. He initially treated Meg Thee Stallion. She told him she stepped on glass. So the paperwork that he wrote up says she stepped on glass. Now, this idea that people are stupid for believing she stepped on glass, well, she not only continued the lie that, well, we're saying that was a lie, that she stepped on glass to the police that met her. When she first gets to the ER, she says, I stepped on glass. They look at her foot. They're not looking too deep in. They're believing her. She ain't saying nothing about getting shot. To the initial eyes of that doctor, they wrote in the medical report that was attached to the police report, stepped on glass. Subsequent x-rays, right? Later surgery by Dr. Lee Haruno confirmed bullet fragments. So there's 2 doctors. One said consistent with stepping on glass. The other did x-rays and said there's bullet fragments. It's not people being stupid. I get it why you're skeptical if you hear 2 different things from 2 different doctors. Okay?
You got to be skeptical.
When she pulls up and the police come.
Do you think we're gonna go to jail? What's that? Do you think we're gonna go to jail?
You're familiar with?
Do you think we're gonna go to jail? What's that? Do you think we're gonna go to jail? I don't know. We're trying to figure it all out. As long as you guys cooperate with us and you guys tell us what happened, we'll go accordingly. Okay? But if you guys are not telling us, if you guys are, then I really cannot go to jail. Okay.
Now, this idea, just remember that this idea, as Vlad would say, well, why would someone call from jail to apologize? That's actually a great question. I like Vlad asking that question because that shows someone thinking and someone saying, why would a man call to apologize to a woman who, as Vlad said, put him in jail? Well, I'm acknowledging that because I'm sane and I'm logical. Let me ask you this question. Why would a victim then say, am I going to go to jail? They don't like when you ask questions back. They only like to tell you the narrative, right? So remember Vlad said,
right.
Well, why would Tory call from jail and apologize to the woman who put him in jail? That's an amazing question. Well, how about this question? Why would the woman who got shot by Tory, supposedly, ask the cops, am I going to go to jail? Nobody wants to talk about that. Again, I'm not here. This is also not me defending this Tory thing. I'm trying to tell you why I'm here to support people that got questions. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. Because these people don't want to hear no more of this.
Go to jail. I don't know. We're trying to figure it all out. As long as you guys cooperate with us and you guys tell us what happened, we'll go accordingly, okay? But if you guys are not telling us, if you guys are, then I really cannot go to jail. Okay.
I really can't go to jail. Wait, ain't you the one shot? Wait, hold up now. They said when Tory was on the shit, apologizing to Meg, saying, man, I was so drunk. It was because it's clear that he shot her. Well, why the hell is the victim saying to the cops, I can't go to jail? If there's nothing you did, that's jailable. Okay.
Long live Kobe.
I cannot have that on my image. Okay. So how did that?
That also is very, very telling. I cannot have that on my image.
What on your image?
When it comes to, well, why would Meg
have anything on her image? The
narrative to be, this guy shot me and I'm a victim. She says it to the cops that night. I can't have this type of stuff on my image.
What happened to you? Glass? Where? Where were you coming from? Hey, can we get a
You hear her. So what happened? I stepped on glass when another officer points to her foot.
Holes in your data costing you deals? See the full picture with HubSpot.
I'm not from here, so okay. I didn't get shot.
You did. Yeah, I hear that part, right? You sure you ain't get shot? I didn't get shot.
I didn't get shot. Oh, you didn't? I mean,
I didn't get shot. Okay. All right. So let's keep it going. We're just going to go down this one more time. Again, we're here already. The LA police are all on Jay-Z's payroll. It doesn't stop with LA. But you're not really ready to hear that part. Well, the reason why Rock Nation probably loves this tweet by Vlad, because he's being so overt and so speculative that, yes, if you believe everything to the T of what he's saying, they could label you as an idiot. Here's the problem. Not necessarily the LA police are on Jay-Z's payroll, but we should probably look at the police in this case, period. Their investigation, after getting reports that shots were fired and they see a woman bleeding, they even write, she stepped on glass. With no proper examination, they hold her there. She's telling them the same thing. Remember, the investigation, and again, I'm not saying the LA police are on anybody's payroll, but if the people who believe that there's some fishiness going on, this was sloppy police work at best. Same thing we saw in the A$AP Rocky case. A$AP Rocky supposedly had shot a guy. The guy went to the store. Rocky and him dipped because they ran. Then the guy comes back the next day and picks up the bullets and gives it to the cops. The cops were there the day before because he didn't report it. But the cops didn't find the bullets. Who found the bullets? The guy. Doesn't make sense, does it? Doesn't seem like you should convict A$AP Rocky on him shooting someone when there was 7 cops on the scene looking for bullets. They couldn't find it. But the next day, conveniently, who finds the bullets? Or shell casings? That guy. Well, let's think about it as Tory case. Well, the cops show up. They get called. It's on 911 call, recording. There's a shooting. It's their job to figure out, is there a gun used? Who got shot at? Who's the victim? Who used the gun? Where were the shots fired? Who called? And who saw what? They say they find a gun in the front seat. Based on their history and training, we see this a lot in federal agents, write up in complaints. Based on information and training, I could say that gun probably was a little bit warm. There's no actual statement by the cops that definitively say there was gunshots fired by that gun that we recovered in that front seat. Sloppy already. So yeah, there's a gun. They did come to a thing that said there was gunshots fired. They don't know if that's that gun. There's nothing memorialized in that report. Okay. Well, let's talk to the people. Well, Meg says, I was never shot. Tory, he's playing stupid. And Kelsey's acting like she's a fish out of water. The driver is like, you don't know what's going on. So what do they have to do? They have to go ask witnesses what the hell happened. They get a few witnesses. One supposedly is the critical witness. That's their house is across the street and within the closest proximity that they heard the shots before they looked out the window to kind of see a physical representation of what was going on. No, actually, let me correct that. They heard an argument. That's how close they are. It's like, imagine hearing an argument outside. You go to the window, you see something, you see a struggle, then you see shots. The person who's an eyewitness is Sean Kelly. Give me 1 second. Where is it at? What's that website that Tory put out? Let's see if we can find it. Now remember, this is supposedly the eyewitness that's seen the most things that night. Again, I don't want to make this about Tory, honestly, but it is important. So that night, this is what they remember. No one in the car is giving it up. No one is saying what really happened. Meg says she ain't get shot. Tory is saying whatever. Nobody's saying nothing. So they go ask the people who either probably call the cops or who are nearby. This is what they say.
Wait. No, it didn't. No?
They shot out of the car?
Well, the windows were open. That's why it sounded like either way. I didn't know they were on my side. The girl opened the door. Two girls fighting. And then they...
Two girls fighting. Open the door.
The girl opened the door. Two girls fighting. And then they shot. And she got out of the car and crawled over.
Okay. Look at the transcript. I have to make this. Damn, I didn't know I cropped everything out like that. What did you see next, sir? They were fighting. They had started fighting. The two girls, yes. When you say the two girls fighting, could you describe? Okay, this is in court. So it looks like he says one thing in the body cam, but he's speaking to the women. He also kind of describes it initially on the stand, and then no. This is a statement to investigators. Oh, never mind. Because he switches his statement on the stand. Sorry.
The doors of the Escalade open, and the girl come out and pull open the passenger door and started screaming and yelling at somebody in the car.
So the girl who came out of the passenger, you're talking about the front passenger?
No, the rear.
The rear passenger. So the girl comes out of the rear passenger, and she goes to the front passenger?
Yes.
And she opens up the car door?
Yes.
And then what happens?
They start they're screaming and shouting at each other, and they start fighting.
The two girls?
Yeah, I can see one like feet coming out trying to kick her, and the other one's fighting, and then the passenger gets out.
So the girl who does the punching and the kicking is the girl that comes out of the back passenger?
Can we stop there? Because I don't want to. I'll tell you, and then I want to get my son's on his own.
Yeah,
and then the passenger gets out.
So the girl who does the punching and the kicking is the girl that comes out of the back passenger?
Can we stop there? Because I don't want to. I'll tell you, and then I want to get my son's on his own.
Yeah, I understand. And it's loud with the cars.
I don't really want to. So basically, the car stopped. The girl in the back got out, started screaming and shouting, ripped the door, pulled the door open, but pulled it so sort of viciously. That's why I presume the driver got out. She starts screaming. She starts hitting the girl. The girl on the side, her feet come out. She starts to kick the girl away. Passenger. They get out. They start fighting here. They start fighting. The driver comes around and tries to sort of break it up. It gets a bit more violent. And between them, the girl then climbs back into the front driver passenger seat.
Where's the short or black guy?
He's in the back.
He's in the back of the car? Okay.
Ironically, they say Tory's in the back, but they later charged Tory with gun possession because they say the gun was under the front passenger seat and Tory was sitting there. Possession is 9/10 of the law. He's the closest person to gun. They charge him. That's why he was held initially. He was not held for shooting. He was held because of gun possession. Remember, this is still happening in LA County. He's not supposed to have a gun.
Play solo, after work, at your own pace.
And they
no
said
stress.
he was in the back, but they said Shawty
World
got
of
out
Warships
the
is
passenger. Snatched that bitch open.
The gun and the girl shoots it.
It's important.
And the girl shoots it.
The girl shoots.
So the driver's door's open.
And you're seeing the girl shoot?
Can I help you? I think, is it this house?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
So you see the girl doing the shooting?
I see what appears to be the girl standing here and going and drop shooting into the car. That's what it looked like to me. But it was dark, and
So one of the most important witnesses, or should be, because it's the only eyewitness that's not in the car, even though I personally think the main important witness should have been the driver. He's the only sober one. However, he goes ghost. But the witness states that day the girls did the shooting.
And the driver a fucked up nigga to leave Tory like that, especially if you know he ain't do it.
Now, for everybody who's saying it's only idiots that believe Tory, should be free. We've seen people beat shit on technicalities. I've always said my stance on this case has never been that Tory is innocent of everything.
If the
Because
glove
technically
don't
Tory would
fit,
be guilty in
you
my
must
even
acquit,
in my synopsis
nigga.
in my theory based on him touching the gun. Right? Because how the law works, yes, you were wrestling away the gun, but if you ever had possession of the gun, that's still gun possession. Right? He's not supposed to touch the gun. So
touch that bitch.
I've always said when it came to the case, if the main part about the case is not about him having a gun, it's whether he fired the bullet. I've said there's been a lot of reasonable doubt. Now, here's the thing. The people who, are bloviating over the fact that he got found guilty, they don't want to talk about reasonable doubt anymore.
Facts.
If we talk about one of the most popular
albums from Jay-Z,
ideas of reasonable doubt, it would be that if the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
Right. And
I claim that this motherfucker did the killing and he wore this particular type glove that you found bloodstained or whatever the case is. Let's see if this guy could fit the glove, which would probably mean he could have worn it. It can't fit. Well, y'all know what y'all should do. It's more than likely he didn't wear this glove. If the story goes that he wore the glove, you must acquit him. Well, if the story goes that Tory shot the woman, but the main key witness on the scene at the time says, not seeing the girl shoot, is that not reasonable doubt?
Definitely reasonable doubt. Especially if you ask me.
Interesting. Okay. I'm not here to necessarily go back and forth. I'm just trying to get all of that. Okay. So the point I got into that to say is that the LA police did sloppy work. Okay. If they were interested in pursuing charges of aggravated assault on anybody that night, I particularly think they should have not only got the contact info, which they did, of Sean Kelly, but they should have brought him down to the precinct, and they should have gotten another official on the record statement with his mind and his memory collected that morning that they could either use for a potential charge or not. Why am I saying that? Because Sean Kelly later on seemed a little bit confused about what he saw after his memory was jogged. Now, if it happened in 2020, prosecutors are trying to prep him, or they kind of meet with him like late 2021 going into 2022 for the trial that happens in 2022. When they now start to describe, hey, are you sure you saw it was a girl shooting? There's a guy, he's built like a woman. He's short, he's tiny, he's petite. Sorry, Corey, but that's kind of how they describe you, bro.
Damn,
that's how they describe it. Are you sure it was a guy?
That's fucked
I saw
up.
the little one. I saw the little one.
Hair or no hair.
They're going to make a lot of references. Well, I don't think they show on the side. They make a lot of references that instead of a man versus a woman, what they saw was someone that wasn't as tall. It kind of absolved, number one, Meg, who's the victim, and the driver, who's clearly bigger, who's also security, who's bigger than Tory. They're absolved, and it leaves Kelsey and Tory. They continue to probe Sean Kelly to say, well, how'd you say that one shot if they were just fighting? And by the time he gets back on the stand during the trial, he's basically saying, I guess Tory, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. What's not taken into consideration is that what he said the night his memory was the most clear. They should have brought him into the station the next day, let him sit down. He's getting asked, hey, am I on the right street? Like, he's distracted. Where's my son? Where's my son? He's all over the place. He's telling the story. Yes, the story is pretty much saying Tory ain't do it. But that basically gets washed away because his memory says something different else later. Now is this reasonable doubt to you? If something happens that night, you get asked about it an hour later, you say A, you get asked about it a year and a half after, you say B. Which one do you believe? Whatever. Let's get through Vlad's tweet. So that's why I said shoddy police work, and I don't think they're on Jay-Z's payroll, but it's the reason why A$AP Rocky never went to jail. And I think it's probably part of the reason. Well, I'm not saying it's part of the reason. Actually, it's the shocking reason why people think, why did Tory go to jail? Because the police work that night and during this whole thing did not actually reflect police work you would think that would send him to jail. Nevertheless, he was sent to jail. Or actually charges were brought up, right? Because, people would say, well, the police didn't do this. This is what we have. The prosecutor did a lot of legwork here, including interrogating Kelsey later on. So the prosecutor brought in Kelsey. The prosecutor met supposedly with Sean Kelly. The prosecutors were the detectives at this point. Why was the prosecutor, like in any case, the prosecutor don't do detective work. Detectives bring a case to the prosecutor. Why was the prosecutor so gun bound or gun ho about pushing this through? Were they influenced by maybe an entity who supposedly came to them with their supposed victim saying, hey, listen, you need to press charges. We have her ready to say that she was shot. Press these fucking charges. So now you have the prosecution arm who's now acting like a detective because all the people who said A during when the LAPD talked to them, they're now down to say, oh, maybe I don't remember anymore. Or actually, let me think.
Hun, take Airborne. It'll help fill those holes your immune system may have.
Holes. Take Airborne. It gives you 7 key immune supporting.
Interesting. The Mexican guy who stabbed Tory, who do you think paid him to do it? You already know the answer to that. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't think somebody sent that guy to stab Tory. I do believe that the people in question would have no problem if Tory was dead. Respectfully. I'm not going to say one means the other happened. I'm just saying, yeah, I don't believe that they sent people, but I don't think they care if he died anyway. I think they had to, if he dies approach. The 3 Supreme Court judges who denied Tory's appeal are all paid off by the Rock Mafia. Now, what's a little bit disingenuous by Vlad saying, oh, okay, like, no one, I don't think they're paid off. What I do believe is that Tory's case was completely fucked. I believe months before he's to go to trial, his legal team drops out, who then put out a documentary that's called Reasonable Doubt. Every episode names after Jay-Z songs. Okay? What people don't realize about appeals is that appeal is not to say whether you're guilty or you're innocent. That was a trial. The appeal is only the appellate courts, right? That, not necessarily Second Circuit is actually called, what's it called? What's it called in appellate courts? Los Angeles. Let's see. The appellate courts is Superior Court. Yeah. So Superior Court is where the it's District Court of Appeal. My bad. Okay. Cool. Okay, so these 3. Okay. Their job is not to say whether Tory's guilty or innocent. Their job is only to say if the rules of engagement, and they do make rules of engagement when you go to trial. These are the pretrial hearings. These are, the instructions. Then there's just procedurally some court rules and trial rules that, protect people's rights. Appeals really don't tell if you're guilty or innocent. Appeals say if there's anything that clearly, like, the thing that they call, what's the name of that appeal? Fuck, I'm like missing it. Tory filed 2 appeals. What's it called? Let me see. Oh, the habeas corpus. Habeas corpus says I'm being held or restricted from one of my, rights unfairly, which means if they claim that you shot somebody, right? And say this was like in the 1990s, there was no surveillance tape. Somebody turns in a surveillance tape, it's not deep fake and nothing like that. You can file a habeas corpus appeal and say that based on this new information, your conviction of shooting someone is unfair. An appellate court will look at it if you really have a videotape. And this was, I remember Tory's team or somebody was floating around, or maybe Whack 100 said there was a videotape of it happening. If there was a videotape, the habeas corpus would succeed, right? So essentially, if they say you did something and you didn't do it, you can always file this. And if what you have, the new information, is so damning, you will be freed. That's the premise of it. It's a Hail Mary because usually these things come out during a trial. Secondly, if your, constitutional rights have been violated and your freedom has been taken without, your freedoms being instated, which is a right to a fair and speedy trial, a right to whatever. Habeas corpus can help there. Tory was denied that, right? When I mean denied, like his, he appealed and it got denied. So that was one of the ways he could have got out. The second way was he appealed for a new trial. Now, a lot of people get off on the new trial thing, even though, as Vlad said, it's really 2%. But the reason why they get off is that sometimes if an appeal says you need to go try this guy over again and charge him over again, it basically, these prosecution offices, DAs, like, they don't want to keep wasting money. They're like, yo, if we're going to have a hung jury or something like that, or we're going to have to go do this again and go through another process, victims have moved on. Some of the people have died who are witnesses. We're not going to do it again. But in important cases, they will do it again. Like, for example, YNW Melly. That wasn't, a successful appeal necessarily. It was a hung jury. And they're saying, we're doing it again. So who knows if they would have did Tory's trial again, but he would have probably got out on bail, this and third. But that was the second appeal. And that appeal is not if he's innocent or not. The appeal is if the case was a fair case and his legal rights during the case and how the case should have went violated, the Constitution or his constitutional rights. Essentially, appeals don't tell you if somebody did it or not. I mean, it technically can, but usually don't. And the idea that, because he failed his appeal, that means he definitely did it. No, all they affirmed is basically that the trial, in their eyes, was fair. That's what they affirmed. Now, you could make the assumption that, well, if it's fair and the verdict says he did it, he did it. But Tory has claimed otherwise, that, hey, not only did I not do it, but he's still sticking to the idea that his trial was fucked up by all type of stuff, right? Anyway, Jay paid Trump not to pardon Tory. That's stupid. We don't got to talk about that. Like, come on, Trump pardoned federal cases. He can't pardon state case. Do I think that this would be possibly within, his wheelhouse, or he would think about it? Possibly, but he can't pardon a state case. Now, could he have influence on governor to pardon a state case? Absolutely can. But why would he? Or why would he when him and Gavin Newsom don't get along? Gavin Newsom supposedly is one of the leading candidates to be the next president or presidential candidates for the Democratic Committee or the Democrats. So even though it's a state case, he could only blah, blah, knowing he likes to bend the rules. Okay. So this is complete bullshit. And it says, if I can't lie anymore, if this is my last tweet, who sounds me. So, okay. I guess we went over all his tweet. The point is, trust your gut. All right. Believe. Maybe I didn't quote Jay here. What do you say? Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see, even if it's said by me, right? Didn't Jay-Z say that? Yeah, Jay-Z said that, right? On ignorant shit. He says, and everything said in the song you happen to see, then actually believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, even if it's spat by me.
Facts.
I just built a budgeting app.
What? How?
Base 44. Look, it pulls our expenses into one place and breaks down spending by team.
Interesting. Can it generate reports?
Interesting.
Let's end that segment with that line.
Interesting.
Let's end that segment with that line. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. If you guys are new here, I hope you make an account. Please hit the subscribe button. Try to give, a mix of content here. We do a lot of bullshit, fun shit, laugh at stuff. We have a good time. And I hope you guys could stay on beyond today if you're new. Oh, I was reading donations, by the way. Thank you guys for the new memberships.
All the space.
Princess DI1, thank you for the 10 cents. They're trying to say satire because it's people they love. I don't believe it. I don't care. He said, y'all believe the lies about Drake. Play stupid games. I'm happy to entertain. Lock Gazy up. I'm from the BK and sick of him since the 90s. Oh, wow. Princess don't rock with him. Sahil, thank you for the 5 Canadian. What's good? 14, thank you for 5. So long story short, Jaguar Wright stole Vlad's phone. Not y'all. TS Car Wash, detail service. He says, read the fan super chats, big dog. Take a few minutes out to read them. I'm reading them now. Princess also said, if this was Drake, would be on CNN. Now these motherfuckers want to say satire when Kendrick whole crew are PDFs. Never was Drake accused of only rumors that every girl debunked and defended him. Hypocrites. One chills, thank you for the 10 or 5. He says, Vlad was being attention 3 or 4 like usual. Do you sell cat says, so Vlad knew all this and was still hating on Tory? The Sam ain't not says Jay-Z ain't paying people off for a D-list artist. Okay. Scott, he says, to the dummy who said Jay-Z not paying people off, you're a jackass. Tory was a threat to the industry. He also said Tory didn't testify because it was an open and shut case. He didn't realize that money talks behind the scenes to that extent. They had no evidence, and the bitch who shot him had immunity. Y'all dumb as fuck for real. I will say this. I think Tory was more than confident that this was going to go in his favor. Jazzo, 41, thank you for the 5. It says, yo, when this all comes out that Meg is a man. It said, when it all comes out, Meg is going to be, we're going to find out Meg's a man, aka a TS. What's TS? Is that transsexual? So I said, yeah, Vlad had a car wash detail services. Yeah, Vlad had his fried. In every interview, he'd be like, don't talking about this. And the next interview he'd be like, he don't like talking about this, but then he bring it up the next interview again. New Ground Vision, thank you for the 14 months. Thank you. He says, we in the building. Scott, thank you for the 5. It's the same dude saying he in jail, so he guilty. Be the same niggas complaining about how the justice system is unfair. And BLM, y'all corny and weird. Christopher, thank you for the 5. It says, you mad consistent, G. Thank you. Raise Entertainment 9848, thank you for the $1. And Bernice King Real, thank you for the 5. It says, Desiree owned daughter sooner. And why would Vlad think he's smarter than Corey's dad and free the people? I do think it's an indictment that Desiree's own daughter is kind of echoing what everyone's saying about her. If your own daughter is saying it, like, Jesus Christ. Hudson Saint, thank you for the 5. It says stuff like this has been going on since before the 60s. Have y'all never read the history books? Princess came back in. Says grown man worshiping Gay Z. It's not above him to do this. What? Rain the Bow, thank you for the 13 months. It's a big act. Is eating them up. Pause. Thank you, though, Rainbow. I love it here. Thank you to our chat queen. Rodney Tolbert, thank you for the 2. It says the CEO of Rock Nation was a drug dealer. That is true. Desiree Perez was caught with drug dealing. And supposedly she flipped on the cartel. One of the few people who flipped on the cartel lived to tell the story and is now pretty much a multimillionaire. Rodney Tolbert, thank you for the 2. It says he did an album with R. Kelly too. They're talking about Jay-Z. Rainbow says, Big Act, you're not wrong. We're on the right side of history. Chat queen for life. Chat, run up them likes. Thank you, ma'am. Mo Bowman, 260, thank you for 5, says, why are all these creepy folks from New York? Jay-Z, Diddy, Weinstein, Epstein. Welcome to New York, Vlad. Check drop. Now he's joking. Bye, Felicia. Veracity Kid, 320 iffy, or 325, says, donate a few $100,000s or multimillionaires to a politician or judge family members, nonprofit, charity organization, and you can do anything in America. Vlad is being disingenuous about the game. I remember somebody said, yo, there's this interesting saying that court cases won by powerful attorneys are not won in the courtroom, they're won on the golf course. Think about that one. You'll get ahead. What does that mean? Most DAs, most high-powered attorneys, and most judges outside of court, they're all friends. They're all on the golf course, and it's more than justice. It's about, hey, listen, I need this one. This client is paying me. This client is paying the mortgage. I need this. I need this one. Okay? Is it true? Look back in history. Motown Mo, thank you, brother. Sean Woods at 11:43, David 5 said, let's go Knicks. Fuck the Celtics. Oh, he's in a basketball mood. Isn't it All-Star game right now? One Chill Ones, thank you for the membership. Also, Dead Runner, thank you for the membership. J Hamster, thank you, or J Ham Master, actually. He says this live about goes stupid viral. Kincaid, thank you. Money Mentality, thank you. Texas Batty, thank you for the 5 says, the Dancer Project just put out a statement about Kelsey interview. They did. Did he? Dancer Project. Does he have Twitter or something? Let me see. In a spirit of public confessions, I'll place this one on the record. Okay. In April 2024, I conducted the only interview with Kelsey Harris. Shortly after, I was apprehended for questioning. I was advised on what could be said publicly. I was urged to alter the presentation. The rollout was no longer mine alone. For weeks, I operated under guidance. Silence was encouraged. Adjustments were expected. No one owns my voice, but pressure is real, and pressure leaves fingerprints. I hope more people come forward to bring light to the truth.
Damn.
You see, in light of Vlad kind of flipping back around saying, hey, I was just joking. I was just trying to show y'all are idiots. Is Danza doing the same thing? Now, if you don't know what he's talking about, just to alter the presentation. Let me see. In a spirit of public confessions, I'll place this one on the record. Okay. In April 2024, I conducted the only interview with Kelsey Harris. Shortly after, I was apprehended for questioning. I was advised on what could be said publicly. I was urged to alter the presentation. The rollout was no longer mine alone. For weeks, I operated under guidance. Silence was encouraged. Adjustments were expected. No one owns my voice, but pressure is real, and pressure leaves fingerprints. I hope more people come forward to bring light to the truth. You see, in light of Vlad kind of flipping back around saying, hey, I was just joking. I was just trying to show y'all are idiots. Is Danza doing the same thing? Now, if you don't know what he's talking about, what he's talking about is well documented. The only interview, by the way, I've approached Kelsey several times, several times, trying to get an interview or follow up about this. I've said, hey, listen, they're saying you did it. They're slandering your name. You're going to speak up for yourself. She's really been. Now she has immunity.
Wait a minute. I'm completely okay with that. That's been pretty obvious.
Yeah, I've learned that people gonna hate you regardless. Like you can be doing. I think that's very important. I didn't want to take an interview or sit down with anybody until I was past that part. And
smart.
Yeah, and I had earlier this year. I was like, you know what? I think this is the year that I want to open up more. Let people into my life a little bit, and maybe hope this will help them understand me more. Maybe I'm related, maybe my story will help somebody else, So, and I think it's also a part of the healing process. Mm-hmm. Maybe this will help.
And it absolutely will. You can't
never sue the other driver after a car accident.
There's a better way to get paid a way bigger check without having to go to court or pay expensive upfront legal fees.
When we listen to music, how many musicians do you hear that you're like, this music is absolutely terrible, right? but they still get 2.5 million listens a month because they are able to reach through to somebody.
Right.
There's always somebody that's going through the same thing you're going through.
Absolutely.
You know, that's nature. You know what I mean? So there's so many people that, yeah, they'll sit there. There's so many people that'll sit there and troll you, but there's so many people that don't even have courage to type to you to tell you, you know, hey, how did you do it?
Right.
You know, how did you still find a way to navigate through
all of it.
You know, and that's something that we'll get to. For now, I was thinking about how
let's see if we could get her. She really said a lot of nothing. And it's interesting Danza is coming around to say this because I think one of the main things, we know he paid for the interview, right? Danza is someone, you know, not a cheap guy and, you know, he got some bread. You know, he offers his guests, you know, compensation. And we would imagine that she did this for the money. But if I'm going to give you some money and I'm going to be this exclusive interview you're doing, like, hey, you're going to answer the operative question. Did you shoot? Did the Tory do it? Like, tell us something.
Yeah.
The wild, like,
I would have thought she would have been like the center.
Nah, she was she was a party girl. You know what I'm saying? So I think it wasn't until 2018 where I really realized, like, he would have been like, how the F did you do that?
All that said, a lot of people in the media, they throw around the term best friend loose. I mean, not just in the media, everywhere. And for women, it's like,
I didn't even know about the hair part.
Really?
Until after everything. until after that night. And you start seeing people spin that picture in the media.
Obviously, there's so much that went on with that I would imagine that's very painful to talk about.
Yeah.
Betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
And is that where the friendship ended? Is that night how the friendship ended between you and Meg?
You know, what's crazy is it's still so unclear to me how we got here. Right. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you consider somebody your best friend, you call him your sister, you're with them every day. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, I want to consistently and frequently make this announcement, because the reason why I'm calling an Epstein list type move of what Vlad did, that's why Rock Nation is not mad about it, is that I truly believe that they want to pigeonhole us to one thing. I do not want to keep talking about, hey, listen, we already had our questions. We've said it. We think what we think about Tory, but we got to speak about Rock Nation and Jay-Z and their actions across the culture. What they've been accused of doing to Nicki Minaj, what they've accused of doing to Bobby Shmurda, what they've been accused of doing to all these other people, including some of our favorites. We need to speak about it all, because this idea that, oh no, they're above doing certain stuff, that's complete bullshit. And I think that, you see, this is why I said Vlad's tweet is harmful, because we're sitting here and we're relitigating this Tory thing. We're like going back into it, like this Tory thing is beaten to death. Like, of course, we love Tory. We believe that, you know, there's a lot of reasonable doubt there. But the real thing to be discussed is that why the fuck is Jay-Z's name mentioned among Harvey Weinstein and Epstein? Why the hell is he hanging with Weinstein? Why the hell, when it comes to Rock Nation and certain things, we're seeing some Illuminati type of stuff happen? What's the deal?
Fuck is the question.
Who got the secrets? Who got those files? That's the files we need. That's why I don't like talking about this. It's not that I have a problem necessarily kind of going back over this and kind of like laboriously like it, but we need to figure out if there is a story, just like how when people were initially saying, hey, there's a bigger story than just this Jeffrey guy, there's some other motherfuckers. We want to know, who are these people that maybe either have protected Jay, maybe Jay protected them, maybe Jay get to leverage them, maybe Rock Nation has got to leverage them, Rock Nation has gotten out the paint, Rock Nation has gotten in position. We want to see those files. That's what we want. So a popular tactic is, let's distract you. Oh, look at the economy. Look at this. That's what they do to Jeffrey Epstein. Look at, oh, no more files. You know what they're doing with this? What about this Tory thing? This Tory thing. Cool. That's one of 5,000 other things. And that's why I think our time is being wasted. But it's okay. As long as the people who are being awoken don't just kind of go back and say, oh, okay, all right, nah, we already got the answers. Just keep being inquisitive. Keep asking questions. And don't only ask him of me, because I'm asking with you. Ask him of your favorite entertainer. Hey, why the fuck we talking about Jay-Z's anniversary of Reasonable Doubt? Fuck the anniversary. Nigga, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the anniversary of him hanging with Weinstein. You know, he dropped Reasonable Doubt in 1996, and you know this is 2006, which obviously would make it 30 years old. Congratulations to him. We'll give him some finger snaps, but let's talk about how long he been cool with Weinstein. That's what we want to know. That's what we want to know. I'm sorry to tell y'all. Okay, yeah, they're gonna distract us with all type of stuff.
That's the
All type of
weakest
stuff.
screen in
Oh.
3-on-3 history.
They got this coming up. This is the thing we should be focused on. Remember before Diddy got indicted? What did Diddy do? Hey, I think you guys should focus on me. I'm gonna give all the artists back their masters. Huh? Philanthropic? I think we've seen enough by now. You had Melinda and Bill Gates said they're going to donate half their fortune to philanthropic efforts. Come to find out, it's because their name is in the fucking Epstein files. Come on. Stop it. We hear Diddy says he's giving back all his artists and masters after niggas threatened to throw a fridge on him over a damn off a 4th floor building. That's what the Locks did. They argued on camera. He would not give it back to them. All of a sudden, I'm down to give it back. He gets indicted. Watch out for the distraction. The Jay-Z distraction is coming soon. It's going to be the Trojan horse. It's going to be, hey, I know you've been thinking that me and Beyonce and the Carters and the Rock Nation are bad people, but look what we're doing for the culture. We're doing something good. The distraction is coming. Right now, we focused. But this is what I'm saying. Let's not focus fully on this Tory thing. Tory, we wish you love. We wish you health. We hope you come home soon. Hey, listen, you have already done the time. You've lost time off of your life. Whether you did do it or not do it, a lot of us believe that you were unfairly convicted. Whatever is the case, hold the faith, my brother. I know you have been. Come home soon.
And this is how ancient people used to manage customer data across 47 different spreadsheets, with pieces still missing today.
Digging for data.
But the conversation ain't done there. The conversation ain't done till we get all the files. Don't stop asking questions till you get all the files. Oh, they want to stop. Well, so how old was Foxy? No, let's not talk about that. We're about to do the Rockefeller reunion. We don't want to hear about a Rockefeller reunion right now. Nope. No reunion. No brunch, no reunion. None of that. None of that. Nope. No distractions. No distractions. None. No Renaissance, no nothing. Stay focused. None of that. Remember, none of that. So how old was Aaliyah? No, Aaliyah, we about to have the Aaliyah. We don't want no tribute concert. Stay focused. Stay focused.
Oh,
we just gonna keep asking questions. We don't care till we blue in the face.
Get your ass out,
because we're not getting the answers. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the lack of answers makes me think there's something. If put it like this, you know, with the Epstein files, when niggas was asking, they say, "Yo, here's all 6 million files. We ain't got nothing to hide. Here, take it all." Even if there was some shit, would probably be like, "Man, they gave it up too quick." Them niggas said that shit for like 6-7 years, man. Now we know there's definitely something. What? Oh, nobody want to talk about it? Oh, there's definitely something. Nobody want to talk about Jay-Z? There's definitely something. If everyone's like, I bet, let's have a conversation right now. What's up? Once and for all, let's have it. Nobody want to do it. There's definitely something. There's definitely something. There's definitely something, man. They've done a million things for the last couple years to change the subject. I'm telling y'all now, when y'all ready, look, let me see. When was reasonable? I know y'all gonna have that day. June, it was June 25th, 1996. When it comes to June, I want to suggest, okay? This is my suggestion. Y'all gotta follow me. All of the paid shills, all of the people that's down with concealing, hiding, suppressing the conversation being had, they're gonna use this as a day to celebrate, saying, here's the greatest rapper of all time. They're going to act like it's the anniversary of Jordan getting 6 rings or some dumb shit. We ain't having it. We need to basically say, this is going to be the anniversary of us figuring out what the fuck this nigga had going on. Facts. The only reasonable doubt we want to hear about is if there would be reasonable doubt for this shit to be in court. That's it. We don't want to hear about no album. None of that. The distractions is too much. And at this point, when you're having even people who, I get it, he's not that well informed, or I know something I think, oh no, Rock Nation must have sent him. I don't even think that. When you're having people like Vlad playing our face, they're basically saying we're all stupid. Like we're the dummies. The people the most read, the most researched. We know these cases, or we know these situations back and front. They want to just say, oh, y'all are the idiots. Yup. We can't let them play in our faces too much longer. We can't. So June 25th, 1996, it'll be memorialized the 30-year anniversary, June 25th, 2026. I think we should make that anniversary of asking what the fuck this nigga done did for the last 30 years in relation to some of these questions we have. We're not just trying to blanketly accuse him. We're not saying he cheated on his math test. You know, he said he lost 92 bricks. We're not saying it was two bricks. No, we're not saying that. We're just saying we're hearing your name. We're hearing the company you got with too much fuck shit, and enough is enough. You can't keep spitting in the air, and when it falls in our face, you call it rain. Enough is enough. We need some type of answers, some type of accountability. We're not all stupid. You're pictured with these barely legal people. You ended up dating one of them. You supposedly had a crush and trying to kick it to the next one. We don't know what's going on. One of them you supposedly signed. We don't know what's going on. You're hanging out with a guy who's a creep. We see your naming over here. We see this like your artist is. We see too much. And I don't want to use because people will think I have a motive. I don't. But we've seen less on other people, and we believe more. Well, they called him a creep in the song. He must be. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. They called him a creep. Fuck it. Am I tripping? Someone in the chat. What have I misinformed?
Deion Sanders on the court, nigga.
He says, ACT must be paid to redirect the attention from Epstein to Jay-Z. That person must have been here for the longest. I've said put all of them in a bowl and investigate them one by one transparently.
Oh, that was
we need all their client lists. We need to see who all of them were hanging out. We need to know all of the when are all the times that he used to hang with Weinstein. When are all the times that Epstein used to hang with Trump? Elon, fuck with you. You know I rock with you. I own a lot of Tesla stock, but gang, you was trying to get on that island bad. You was trying. Nigga was curving you, man. This nigga went out here, man. Your name's Elon, man. Ain't coming on here, man. Fuck out of here,
hurry
man.
up and score again.
You know what I mean? Like, get out of here, man. Like,
defense.
what's curving you? We need to know why.
Let's get back on defense.
The why, and here's the thing. I'm not saying everybody guilty because the why could probably help him.
I am.
Maybe Elon was getting curved by Jeffrey Epstein because he wasn't a big enough perv.
Everybody guilty.
That's actually a good thing, right? Right. They might be like, oh,
about us.
Nah, he ain't a pervert like that. Nah, he not a creep. Don't bring him here. That's a good thing. If we find out that they didn't bring Elon, remember Elon was trying to get like Elon, they were like, let me know the best time to pop up at the island. They ain't never let that nigga know. We don't want you here, nigga. Maybe they were saying, okay, you ain't a predator or a big enough predator to make it to the island. That's a good thing. So through investigation, we might say, okay, at least we know he ain't a creep like them. That's all we can say. You get what I'm saying? It's one of those. If you in a gang and they inviting the killers to a meeting to go on a drill to slide for one of y'all dead mans, and you say, "Could I come to the meeting because I want to go?" And they said, "Nah, they're curving you." Yeah, you're a gang member, but maybe you're just not a killer. We learned something. You're just not a killer. You're just they know you're gonna freeze up in the car. You're throwing up after the drill. They don't want that. They don't want it.
Don't ask to get out of the car, man.
What can we take away from that? Hey, yeah, he's a gang member.
Step aboard the world's most luxurious fleet. Cruise in all-inclusive, unrivaled luxury with Regent.
Yeah, that was his niggas in them, but he just wasn't a killer. We need to know something. Can we know something? We asking questions and they looking at us like, why are these niggas asking questions? Yo, chat, have you realized they've now turned it into the people asking questions are not only the idiots, but the weird ones? Here's the next iteration of it. Why they so obsessed with that type of shit? Bingo. Got it. When you start saying, again, this is not even an accusation. Just say, hey, was this odd? Again, the answer might be like, all right. And you know the funny thing is, I know some people who love Jay-Z and whatever. We've never got an answer. It's not like we've gotten answers and we're so stubborn that we're like, let's ask it again. Let's ask it again. No. Ain't nobody saying shit. Because I do understand that. Like, people have said things about me, and I felt like I'm pretty transparent, so I've answered it. Here's my response. They ignore my response and say it again. Okay, you're being annoying. All right, let me say it again. So I say it one more time on a bigger platform. And then the people don't like me, they're like, let's ignore that shit. Let's say it again. Those people are idiots. Okay? So really, pardon me, if some of these things we have full-on answers for and we have full-on explanations and full-on exonerations when it comes to Jay, like, okay, hey, if I haven't seen it, if I'm overlooking something, I apologize. You know, I'm trying to operate within, I want to have some integrity here that says you're not just dogpiling on somebody for whatever reason. Like, you actually do believe what you're saying. But most of the shit they don't want to talk about, period. That's the funny thing. Anyway, let me listen to Kelsey a little bit more. And after this, what was I going to play? Oh, I had something to play.
I would like to say, no, the whole situation of her doing whatever behind my back, that is not why we fell out. It's so unclear to me why we fell out. I'm a type of person that likes to communicate things. some people don't like to communicate.
It's a task for people, some people.
Right. But you would think when you have this, when you're close to this person and this person is supposed to be, you know, like your best friend, your family, your sister, like you would be able to talk about these things and, you know, agree to disagree. You don't even have to, if you know, people grow and everybody has a season. So if that was just the end of our season, I feel like we should.
She's saying a lot, but not saying nothing. Come on, cook up.
And it's
Hey, I'm sure everything kind of just.
It was fast. Believe it or not, that was my last time ever seeing her.
Really?
And it's crazy. How do you go through something like this with with somebody, with your best friend, your sister, and you just push them out so easily? I don't know. I'm a different type of person.
Well, you know, this is why I got to talk to Danza about his tweet. Well, I can tell you how you stop talking to someone if she believes you try to shoot her.
I'm trying to tell you.
Talking to your best friend.
For real.
You got an argument, you beat your best friend up and she grabbed a gun. Now, she's not definitively say what happened. Or, you know, another way how you stop talking to your best friend, whether or not you did shoot her, you basically clearly didn't see that much of a problem because you're talking to the nigga who shot her.
Damn.
If that's what she claimed. So that's the confusing thing with Kelsey. She's not saying, or I guess it's implied. I think maybe she might say, oh, I didn't shoot. I don't think she even really said anything. But if you're asking yourself, why would your best friend not want to talk to you afterwards? One of the things could be you shot her. Okay, let's say you're saying you didn't shoot her. Well, you fraternizing with the guy who, if it wasn't you, I would imagine it would be him who shot her. If you can't see both of them, you're either stupid or you think we're stupid. Or you're thinking she never got shot. She's just over here lying. I don't know which one it is.
I guess.
You really are. Because in front of the world, you know, she went out and it's clear now, right, that she went out and lied in front of the world, said I was never with him and stuff like that. And you weren't the type of person that went out screaming to the media that said, yes, you were. You just stayed chill. You stayed yourself throughout all that.
Yeah, and it wasn't an easy thing to do because there were so many times I wanted to go off, clear my name, defend my name, you know, up against these lies. But they say, like, people who run to tell their story first, they do it because they're scared of, like, the truth, you know, you telling your truth.
Yeah.
So they got to paint this picture of you.
Let that be the narrative.
And make people believe you're this bad person before you can do it to them. You know what I'm saying? My intention is never to, like, paint somebody as a bad person. But my story, unfortunately, has to reveal these people's character. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think they want that. You know, you don't want me to tell my side of the story because it's going to reveal, like, things about you that is just, like, not right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Bitch,
So
doesn't it bother you
book. When, you know, I did see the clip where she's like, oh, you better speak up or you better say anything. You know, like.
Is that the one recently?
Yeah. It's like, you don't want me to speak up. But I feel that with the time that she did spend with you and that she knows of you, she knows that you are the type of individual
exactly that I don't like.
Uses that to her advantage.
To her advantage.
She's a big girl. She's probably always looking down on people.
I totally agree with that. Not the big girl part. Not the big girl part. The part about, you know, she knows my true character. So she knows, like.
I want to add some guitar. Do you know how to make music? No, of course not. Okay. What's up, guys? We're here at the airport in Madrid. We're looking for a stranger to finish this beat. Let's go. I'm asking people to help me make the beats. And then you tell me what you should add. Yeah.
Even though, yes, if it comes down to it, whatever, I'm gonna handle my business.
Yeah.
I don't go out and seek drama. I'm not a confrontational person, but if it has to be that, then that's what it is. But I would prefer to not have to go there. You know what I'm saying? And these are things that, you know, she does know. You know, I'm not the type of person. I'm not fixing to get on the internet and do all that.
No, again, I don't want to. I prefer not to get too into detail about those types of things. But I did want to ask: is that night, the infamous night, the night that you actually found out about the betrayal?
It's crazy. Yeah, it is. It is. To my knowledge, shit. Other than that, like, shit, she was 100.
Yeah.
To my knowledge. So yeah, it did end up coming out that night that she had been betraying me or whatever. And
of course, so she basically corroborates it. You know, Meg was fucking my dude behind my back, whatever. Some same shit. She's not gonna say much.
Honestly, since that night, I've isolated myself completely.
Okay.
Has that affected your drinking too?
The drinking, I don't
Because
that night affected my drinking.
Right.
And I say that because
again, everybody was drunk except the driver and the person who didn't testify. Okay, I see someone. Thank you guys. You guys have a lot of I'm still getting through the donations here. You guys definitely sent a lot in. And I appreciate you guys. Okay, Texas Batty, thank you. And he says, speak on Demori Perez. Are they been the doctors being paid by Desiree? So there's this idea that with Demori, she was, yeah, there's just so much shit there where like when Vlad just even says some shit, Vlad has no idea about this stuff. It's not like, that's what I'm saying. When I sit with him and I'm hitting him with facts after facts, all he's going to do is like, he's going to change the subject to, well, what I meant. Okay, fuck what you meant. I get it. You were joking around. But when you say these things only an idiot would believe, there's actual things behind it. So Desiree Perez, who's the CEO of Rock Nation, her daughter is Demori Perez, or actually I think Demori Hadley, I think.
It's something like breadcrumbs.
Just look up Demori Hadley Baker Act. And she actually claims that if you don't know what Baker Act is when it's this act that if people actually fear that you are a danger to yourself, they could, have law enforcement take you and put you in a hold where they could, evaluate you. And the daughter of Desiree Perez is claiming that, she was Baker Acted, but it was orchestrated by her own mother because her own mother didn't approve of the guy she was dealing with, and basically how she, she influenced all of the operating bodies, including the police and maybe even these medical facilities or whatever, in actually keeping her. And people usually even accuse that when they get put in a conservatorship. Obviously frequently or not frequently. Recently, we know what happened with what's her name, Wendy Williams. So it's a lot, right? It's a lot. And yeah, she got Baker Acted. A deputy said, and it says, I can't drive with you. You could take me. It says you're going to be in handcuffs and your dog's not going to be able to come. And they actually, it says we received a call from your family. They're saying that her mom called, saying that she tried to overdose. Okay, and there was a doctor, chief of psychiatry at this hospital who runs a private practice who said, they say, oh, I spoke to your mom and I spoke to your aunt. So the legal fight is, she says her own mother really set all this up. And she was unlawful means to have her falsely detained under this act. And it says she's a CEO of Rock Nation, which is a company that she runs with Sean Carter, which is Jay-Z. This is her own daughter saying this shit. So this is not like some random. I would never met none of these people in my life. But this is her own daughter saying this. Her own daughter is saying she used money, power, and influence to tear, her apart, her and her husband, right? And he created an enterprise of individuals to effectuate her plot, essentially try to separate me from her husband to falsely accuse him of domestic violence. So they were trying to basically say, if she doesn't leave this guy, and they're saying that the dude beats her, this and third, she's not saying none of that. So she's crazy. It said they Baker Acted her. They said it was fearing she was at the risk of suicide and abusing prescription drugs. The attorney said they haven't seen nothing like this in 20 years. Okay, the attorney represented the daughter, saying that Perez has harassed the couple for years, including making unfounded claims to get the husband arrested on multiple occasions for battery and domestic violence. Prosecutors never pursued any of those charges. The state attorney wrote an 11-page scathing closeout memorandum, which basically said that her mother made false allegations to the police. So the state attorney's office basically said the mom. Like after they basically try to pursue legal action, they said, well, it's on the mom. And we're not here to do whatever. We're here to just move off the mom or move off the family members. Prosecutor also wrote that she was wrongfully Baker Acted last year, something that they dispute in a letter challenging that many of the members. Okay. So there's a whole thing. And it kind of becomes a little bit like spooky when you're saying, wait, so her mom affected the police, the state attorney's office and psychiatric centers to get her daughter like taken away because they don't like the guy. So remember, Vlad is like, nobody would do such a thing. Her mom ain't like the guy she's with. They said that she's on drugs, suicidal, and that she's getting her ass beat. She's said none of the things are true. Her and her attorney dispute the doctor that supported it. In a lawsuit, they say that her doctor wrote a letter disputing need for treatment, hospitalization.
My fault, but I hit that shit. That's my fault. But I hit them shits.
This is some shit. This is some
act
shit.
like I don't hit that shit, nigga.
Desiree Perez is claiming that she actually filed this thing because she was rooted in legitimate concern. The psychiatric facility said they can't talk about the case because of an independent lawsuit.
We on the team
and of course,
too.
The DSO,
we on y'all team too, nigga.
So that's their own daughter, right? All right, Kelsey doesn't really say much here. I want to quickly, and I am going through all the donations here, by the way. Ubezert, thank you for the $5. It says a serial con man and gaslighting people. Who'd have thought? LOL. If there were the signs, maybe he's talking about Jay-Z. Damn. Or maybe talking about Vlad. I don't know. Anyway, let's get to this really quickly. And again, I am going to read all your donations. Thank you guys if you sent them. But in putting things into context, because remember, if you believe any of this, you're crazy. So let's bring in other people that might be crazy. Remember, I told you, Colin Kaepernick's wife, Nessa Dia, we could look at her. Remember they said Nicki's crazy, right? Nessa Dia, Nicki Minaj. Let's look at this. Nessa supports Nicki Minaj's claim of foul play. she at Rock Nation. She claims they undermined Colin Kaepernick protests and says, hey, Nicki Minaj exploring the smear tactics by Jay-Z, Rock Nation, and Desiree Perez did to her behind the scenes is very similar to what I was told they did to her man, Kaepernick, when Jay purportedly co-opted Kaepernick's protest by siding with the NFL to help their image after they blackballed Colin for his protest. Okay. Interesting. Now, after this came out, there was a very interesting piece of evidence that came out to back her up, because remember, everybody's crazy. There's nobody telling the truth. Everybody's crazy. Van Lathan. I want you guys to listen to this.
Before we left the hospital, my son received a pulse oximetry screening to check for a possible problem with his heart. Thanks to...
It was Nessa, and she was talking about Nicki Minaj's claims about a smear job that Jay-Z had against Colin Kaepernick. All right. I have to say this. I think the thing here, and I've told this story before, I think the thing here is the Jay-Z part of it. Obviously, that's the biggest deal. But when Nessa's talking right there, there's a part of me that feels bad about letting her be on her own with saying that.
As is the rest of the people who are in media, because it's easy to dismiss someone and call them crazy. It's the easiest thing. This person's crazy. Right? Because most of these people are speaking from their shared experience. They're speaking from, hey, I've went through this. Hey, I've seen this. And it's easy to say, you're seeing shit. You're in your mind. It didn't happen.
And this is the reality. This is what happens, at least in what happened, at least in this one instance, because I was there. I know for sure. I'm not saying it was Jay-Z. I can't say that Jay-Z did anything, right? But I know for sure, that Rock Nation was seeding negative stories about Colin Kaepernick during the time that he was really in traction with Jay-Z. For sure. I've told this story before. I'll tell it again. This is another story where I give Harvey a ton of credit, right?
Remember, everybody's crazy. Everybody's crazy.
Before. I think the thing here is the Jay-Z part of it. Obviously, that's the biggest deal. But when Nessa's talking right there, there's a part of me that feels bad about letting her be on her own with saying that. And this is the reality. This is what happens, at least in what happened, at least in this one instance, because I was there. I know for sure. I'm not saying it was Jay-Z. I can't say that Jay-Z did anything, right? But I know for sure, that Rock Nation was seeding negative stories about Colin Kaepernick during the time that he was really in traction with Jay-Z.
No, Dan, no. Jay would never do something like that. Why would he do that? You're cap.
He didn't say Jay. He said Rock Nation.
For sure. I've told this story before. I'll tell it again. This is another story where I give Harvey a ton of credit, right? So I'm at my desk one time. This is after the Rock Nation NFL deal has been announced. And give Harvey more credit than Jim.
Harvey Levin is the boss and the on-air personality at TMZ.
That's with how he played this. I'll give him credit for the fact that he goes, hey, I just got this information on the phone. I know who was on the other end of the phone. I know who Harvey's Rock Nation contact is, right? I just got this information.
Nah, it had to be like a random tip. Nah.
On the phone. And all of these things about Colin Kaepernick is what I just got told, right? He comes over to me and he tells me all of these things. And it was the whole Colin Kaepernick doesn't really want to play narrative. Like Colin Kaepernick didn't go to this training, or he sabotaged himself this way or whatever. Actually, it was the same thing that people had started to hear on First Take. And it was a narrative that was getting around because either it was coming from what I thought at first is that either it was coming from players that had played with him or people that knew things. I don't know, but I had heard it before, right? And Harvey comes over to me and he says all of this stuff. And he's like, yeah, did you know that he actually doesn't really want to play? And I looked at Harvey and I said, look, I don't think that we here at TMZ should be getting in the middle of what's going on between Colin Kaepernick and Jay-Z. I think if we run what essentially was a hit piece on Colin Kaepernick.
A hit piece that he's admitting that Rock Nation called in, seemingly, to Harvey Levin to spread the propaganda because Jay-Z just got a deal and they wanted to make the sheeple okay with moving on to what Jay-Z had in store.
Nick, I don't think we have the cultural cachet to do that. Number one, to insert ourselves into the middle of that situation. And also, I think it's choosing a side in something that is literally at the core of a culture, of a Black cultural discussion right now. I don't think we should do it. And he listened.
And you didn't do it.
He did not do it. He listened. He goes, okay, that makes a lot of sense. He listened. I'm like, I don't think we should do that. Like, he listened, right? He went and got back on the phone. And when he came back, there was a different story. And the story that ended up making it to TMZ was that Jay-Z somehow had the inside track on becoming an NFL owner because of his relationship with the NFL. And that ended up being the story. You guys could probably Google that story. I'm sure it's still on the site, that Jay-Z was going to become an NFL owner. And the reason why that story went up is because it was still a story that kind of explained why he had decided to take the deal with the NFL. It was a story that made it make sense to people. Like, oh my God, maybe Jay-Z, as the owner of a team, can then put Colin on a team, or maybe move it.
That was the intended purpose. So after they tried to bury Colin, and TMZ and shout to Van, they said, we don't feel comfortable with you feeding us this negative story, which I got to say, TMZ, way to have the morals there. You know, I'm pretty sure Lamar Odom would probably be like, what about me? Did anybody call y'all saying I was on crack? Because y'all ran a lot of those stories. Reportedly, they said the Kardashian always had the bat signal or bat line or the bat phone to TMZ. But yeah, so they didn't run the story on Colin, but they ran it supporting Jay-Z, but giving a reason, basically saying he's not scum. Hey, he's going to own a team. And if he owns a team, he could put Colin Kaepernick on the team.
Moving on from the kneeling situation is worth it because we're going to get a black owner in the NFL.
Or just have some influence towards black culture, people within the NFL. I get it.
Because a lot of people were asking the question, like, why he did this, because it didn't seem like it was a deal. And they were pitting Colin Kaepernick.
Again, for the people who say this is just crazy talk.
Whoa.
What's that?
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, Nina just built an app.
Impossible.
Nina can't code.
Interesting. Can it generate reports?
It can now.
Nice.
So you're saying we can all build apps now?
Yeah.
I'm on lunch.
Just built an inventory tracker.
Protein calculator.
Book sharing app.
A workflow manager that
Tracks who still owes for the group lunch.
Trash duty schedule.
Since no one seems to care.
Just built a
I just created a goal tracking system.
we built the same thing, didn't we?
Yep.
Can this thing manage content? Is the SOC 2 compliant?
Hold on. We're going to find it on TMZ. Jay-Z to become part owner, NFL team, TMZ. This is a story that got ran. This is TMZ.com. Jay-Z had multiple reasons of becoming part of the NFL family, TMZ Sports has learned. One of them is that he's going to become part owner of an NFL team. And it's going to happen soon. Sources connected to Jay. Come on, Rock Nation. With direct knowledge tells us Jay's going to have a significant ownership interest in the NFL team. As for which team, we're not being told. But we are being told it's going to happen in the near future. Yes. Oh, yeah. We're told Jay wants to become a part owner because he's a huge fan, already has a sports business, and wants to be a change agent for the NFL. This is a part you could assume. He wants to be a change agent. So he wants to change the culture. Look at this infamous video. The person that we keep talking about, Desiree Perez, is here. Jay-Z
A
here.
fucking agent.
Roger
That's
Goodell's
all
here.
I heard was
Jay-Z
agent.
has experience with team ownership. He has
All I heard was agent. That's all I fucking heard. That's all I heard was agent. Change agent? Change agent. Talking about for the culture. Maybe just pick up the change, little leftover change from the NFL with the halftime show and all that other shit. He the change agent. Fucking agent.
actually a minority stake in Brooklyn Nets. He sold that stake in 2013. This became the story instead of a overly hit piece that was meant for Colin Kaepernick that was called in by Rock Nation.
Against Jay-Z. Full disclosure, I know Colin Kaepernick and Nessa. I do not know Jay-Z or any of the higher ups at Rock Nation. Right. So I can't say what Jay-Z was having somebody do. But the fact that they were people from Rock Nation that were trying to put negative stories about Colin Kaepernick into the ether is true. Now, that is two things. One, so much more common than people would think that it is. Right? So much more common in media than people would think that it is. Okay. That happens all the time. Essentially, the reason why I would tell celebrities all the time is like make friends with somebody at TMZ, have somebody in the office is for two things. Number one, so you can get a story and
okay, we all know how the media works. All right. Day W, he says, you track topics for so long, man. Get a live mod, please. Hey, this was important. This is a big topic. It went viral. We got to really flush it out. This is where people come for in-depth conversation. You know, I've long since graduated from the come here for 5 minutes of discussion and you got the gist of the topic. We're going to get into the weeds. I like to think that if you watch this live stream, you're the most entertained and most informative. And those two combined make you very powerful. People have a natural dislike for Beyonce and Jay-Z, will believe anything and not read nothing. That's TLO3 Riz. Antoine Brook, thank you for Dot. You didn't say anything. Kendrick Intern says, you finally seen what Dot was talking about on Watch the Party Die. It's deeper than Drake. Are you trying to say Kendrick was talking about Jay-Z? Antoine Brooks, thank you for the 2. It says, Jay-Z's not on the list. Shaking my head. It's misleading. What list are you talking about? I don't think you guys are realizing that the list, there's a metaphorical list, and it's the people who were his associates who probably helped the bidding or were accused of doing some of the same shit with him. There's not a list like the nigga didn't write a list. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else says Kendrick is trash. Anything but a norm. Thank you for the 10. I appreciate you didn't have a message with that. Duality 742 says, who protested in the streets at the Super Bowl between the Jay-Z partnership? Is bullshit. Now, what you're not realizing is this. So remember, it's 2014. That's when the letter was sent out, right? This letter is sent out. It says, look, 2014. Why we're not in Sao Paulo? Keep in mind, this is 2-3. Okay. What happens is the World Cup is in Sao Paulo, right? What happens in 2014 Super Bowl is at MetLife Stadium. The Seahawks defeated the favorite Broncos, and this goes down in MetLife. Okay. So when you look at it, this is the MetLife Stadium. It's the football game that goes down in MetLife Stadium. If you don't know, the New York Giants play at MetLife. Again, it went down pretty much without a hitch. They're saying because when the Super Bowl comes to a city, and if you guys don't know how Super Bowl works, there are packages that are presented. That it's kind of like the World Cup in a way where, you know, these cities kind of bid for it in a way, but they are selected. And it's all about what the biggest game is going to bring to the entire, you know, surrounding areas. So they know there's going to be a shit ton of events. The NFL is going to be sponsoring these events. It could be the celebrity, the Pro Bowl, the this, the that, the flag football game, whatever the case is. And essentially, you know, they're pointing out. That's what the guy was pointing out.
Scrub Daddy?
I'm Aaron, but here's your daddy.
Tell me why.
You already know how it ends.
When the biggest game comes to Sao Paulo, their social issues that they're having, their social strife, turns into embarrassment. They're protesting and fighting in the streets. Well, no one is protesting and fighting in the streets when it comes to New York. Why? Because Jay-Z. We have Jay-Z. He is the guy. Jay-Z will make sure niggas ain't nigga-ing. That's the point. Okay? Duality, thank you for the 5 again. It says FBI investigated for decades, took 180,000 footage, but didn't save one child. They didn't take the pictures themselves.
We dominated.
They confiscated them. Yeah. Somebody says, Bernice says, go to 36 hours later. We did do that. Appreciate you. Africa Bambata. Whoa, that's your name? 69. It says Hassan Campbell was my girlfriend. Wow, pause. I'm not too sure if that's the actual guy or what. Don Draper, 9673, name of 10, says, what was the point of Vlad's tweet? Well, according to him, he was trying to rage bait and also engagement farm. Mamouche, thank you for the 2. He says, are you going to Alka show? Come on now. You know I'm in there. You know that. Katrina, thank you. Thank you for the membership. By the way, he's talking about Alka.
Welcome to the Lit House.
All good, all good. Somebody said, keep dropping 40. Thank you
well, we always light them up.
Thing. This is the only tether we're jacking. Oh, man. It's the FBA. They're rocking with me. Okay. Africa Bambata is going.
They got 8 points. I got 8 points.
Peter Stone says, it's so clear you only care about this dude.
He got 10 points. He got more than that whole team.
Yet you're quiet on Trump documents every day. Trump isn't a hip hop person. I primarily cover hip hop, sir. And I've also said because of Trump's inclusion in the Epstein files that he should be investigated. I've said it about everybody. Again, you might think it's about Tory and Drake, but that's why I said those are the people who are going to try to make it personal. No, I think there's enough questions that we're not getting answered. And
They got me feeling like I'm academics.
What's the deal, man? Is KD like, okay, let me see what's going on. KD is going viral now. Okay. Hold on. Sorry, chat. Let me take this off and let's use this. It's in KD is going viral after supposedly he was caught using a burner account to talk trash to his current and former teammates. Huh? Yo, what the fuck? One of the comments is, I miss Ben Simmons. At least he'll pass me the ball. No, this can't be real. No, this can't be real, right? Not too sure what I'm looking at here. But there's something called Get Off My Dickerson. And look like they're in a group chat or a DM message or a group message with some people. He says, I can't trust Jabari to make a fucking shot or get a stop. Someone says, just don't give him a tech free throw, to be honest. He says he's low-key retarded. Then he says, coach called that play to pass to Alpi. Who's Alpi? What team is KD even on? Is he on like the Houston Rockets or something? He said, I'm going to turn the ball over with a shitty-ass team. I don't give a fuck. Your franchise player can't shoot or defend. That's a way bigger issue than my turnovers. Remember, these guys are your future. Which team is KD on? Kevin Durant team. He's on the Houston Rockets, right? Don't tell me the Houston Rockets franchise player is what's that guy's name? The guy who trolls LeBron? What's his name? Who Drake fucked his chick? What's his name? Dylan Brooks, right? Dylan Brooks is the guy?
No.
Houston Rockets team player stats. Let's see who's the big dog over there. So the most points is KD. KD's the number one point getter. Then a guy named who the fuck? Alperen Sengun. I've heard about. Isn't it Sengun or something like that? Like I've heard his name pronounced a different way. Is he the franchise player? Let's click on him. He's a 6'11", fourth year in the league.
Oh, I ain't trying to
maybe are they talking about him? Huh? They're talking about him? If this is KD, we don't know if it's KD. So KD's talking about, I guess he's talking shit about this guy. So your franchise player can't shoot or defend. Wait, how is this Sengun dude like 6'11" and can't defend? What the hell? What? So your friend, okay, that's a way bigger issue than my turnovers. Is he averaging a lot of turnovers? Oh, KD is averaging. He's averaging 3 turnovers. Okay. He's averaging 3 turnovers. Okay. But the Sengun dude, how do they say his name? They say Sengun. Like, fuck his name, actually. Who gives a fuck about it, bro? Okay. I'll just call him Alpi. All right. Oh, makes sense. Alpi, my bad. Chat, I'm not watching the Houston. Come on, the Houston Rockets. Come on, bro. Come on. Yo, by the way, speaking of which, yo, KD, I love you, brother, but they're passing you around like a hoe at this point. Like, yo, KD, respectfully, you're too good to be getting passed around like a hoe. I've seen you on the Brooklyn Nets. I've seen you on the Phoenix Suns. You're now on the Houston Rockets. Like, bruv, they got you going left, right, and center. You think you're like motherfucking Leonard the Plug. No disrespect at him. Like, come on. They're passing you. What's going on? Kevin Durant, that's not good. It's not good, Kevin Durant. Not good. Ever since his big toe fucked him out of that NBA Finals or that championship, whatever it was, they have just been passing my man around like they're passing him around like the neighborhood thought. I don't like it.
Man,
he's now in Houston. I don't like that shit. KD, let's figure it out, man. I think Bron, he's going to soon have to get the fuck up on out of there and retire. Brother, I know you got some years left. Come on, man. We got to make a championship push, okay? I know the Steph days are behind you, but bruv, we can't know you for 3 championship with Steph. And was it 3 or 2? And then the rest of the time we know you for tweeting. Can't know you for that. And for being Drake's homie. You're my homie too, though. We're homies. And by the way, if you talk this slick, hit me up that we could talk slick about some players. I love talking shit. This is my shit talking right here. I love talking shit. He says, these Rocket fans are hurt and starting to what? Another one that says, yo, I got to really stop laughing. I really got to laugh to stop from crying. He says, I swear I miss Ben Simmons. At least that nigga would give me the ball. But last time I see Ben Simmons was dead ass in a commercial. I didn't even know that nigga was in the league. So, yo, I seen Ben Simmons. Yo, Ben, that's my nigga, though. He told me, like, how to get a dog. I was trying to get, like, this little dog that he had. He told me to breed her and shit like that. So, like, me and him not beefing around like that. But, bro, Ben Simmons commercial. The last time I seen this nigga was in a commercial. Dead ass, bro. Dead ass. I see him in a commercial with, like, Tiffany Haddish or some dumb shit. I was like, yo, bro, does he still play? Like, for real, bro. Was it? Or maybe I did see him. Who the fuck was Tiffany Haddish in the commercial with? I swear I seen. What team he play for? Is he on the Nets still? What the fuck? All right, man. Okay, anyway. And somebody, I guess he still says, pull the number for all those guards, and I bet it's similar all around. The pick disproved it, though. Okay, cool. Let's see some more shit. So Kevin Durant, no, he got caught. Okay.
Current owners and lessees of an eligible competitive luxury brand vehicle get this lease offer on this 2020.
Yo, Katie, DM me if this is you, bro. You my mans. Yo, Katie, yo, you need a nigga like me. Nigga, I'll cuss these niggas out for you, nigga, and stand on it. Man, fuck these bum ass niggas. These niggas want to pass Shen gun. This nigga, yo, get this bum ass nigga out of here, man. He can't defend. He can't shoot. What? Yo, what? Nah, come on, Katie. I rock with you. Katie, I rock with you. Don't apologize. Oh, they say he's tweeting during warm-ups? Bro, he's on the Houston Rockets. Them niggas ain't winning shit. Oh, is this an all-star game? Bro, if the nigga played like 20 years in the league, bro, like, my man can't, yo, you're saying my man can't fucking start tweeting, bro? If this what he gets his thing off with, bro, let him rock, bro. Yo, KD got to tell niggas to eat a dick. That's the problem with KD. KD need to be on his Draymond Green, Dylan Brooks shit. Man, fuck these, man. Like, what, yo, why do you even care about it? If I'm KD, I tweeted from my main account. Nigga, you nice. What they gonna say? It's like when I went back to Youngboy and I was like, yo, Youngboy, you know, like Kai and them niggas really think that like that's your account and you message this girl. That's what Kai's team did. Some Finsta account. You know, Youngboy told me. Youngboy says, you know me. He says, if I'm gonna say a motherfucking thing about a bitch, I want that blue check come across your screen because I'm down to stand on it. That's what he told me. I was like, yeah, that kind of sound like you. Yeah, that sound like, yeah. He's like, if I'm gonna say something about a pussy ass bitch, I want my blue check to come across that screen. I want that nigga to see that shit. Like, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, KD, fuck it. It's like your 40th year in the league. Yo, all y'all old heads is doing like crazy shit now. We seen LeBron James about to scrap with Stephen A. Smith. Bro, be yourself. Shit. Okay. What else he say? Said Kevin Durant privately DM an ex-user who was heckling him about the Drake and Kendrick beef. And he stepped in to defend Drake. And said this has to be AI. What the fuck? What is this? Who are these people? Oh, this is Katie. Oh, yeah. Oh, so this is Katie right here? What game? Come to the bar with me and a couple girls. You see my game. You scared to hang out with me, Biz? Who's this? Who the fuck did he do? Huh? What am I missing here? Okay. All right, bro. Like, it's a video, so you're supposed to go back. Wait, Kevin Durant is having a one-sided conversation in this nigga's DM? Hold on. Come on, Bus. We can't be friends. Damn, bro. What I do wrong? Stop ignoring me, bro. This ain't KD. Hey, Buzz, you talked to Kendrick today? Hey, Fats, why do you want Drake dead? Who cares about a chain when you got billions? I'm wondering if your daddy Kendrick knows you exist. Wait, why is Kevin Durant talking to himself? Hey, goof. All right, that sounds like Drake. Okay. I've talked to Kevin Durant a few times. I don't know if I've talked to him that much. I've talked to Drake a bunch. Drake calls niggas goofs like it's going out of style. Yo, Drake would be like, yo, Elliot Wilson, that guy's a goof. Like, yo, if you ever hear Drake, Drake's hilarious. Yo, that guy's a goof. Ebro, he's a goof. Like, that's like his favorite word, goof. Every time I hear it, I'm like, you mean goofy? Yeah, that's like some, but you know what? He been hanging out with Drake a lot. Yeah, maybe they just call people goof. Yeah, that guy's a goof. That guy's a goof, Crody. That guy's a goof. Goof, Crody. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wait, is he sorting the messages to be only KD? Because I'm not seeing his messages. So it looks weird. Or did he delete them? This is kind of odd. And it says that's how you pronounce it, Kevin. It said, my bad, Buzz. And it said Buzz. And somebody says, just sending you a screenshot to let you know how stupid this shit is. And he says, seems pretty normal to me. Let me see. Who the hell is Mr. Bugsby 408? Okay, whatever. Wait. I'll give you my opinion on this whole KD saga right now. Let's see. Let me look at the standings. My bad. Yeah, the Houston Rockets in 4th place. Yo, I get you, KD. These guys are a bunch of goofs. Get it. I get it. KD's too good to be playing with you bums, man. Shangun, step it up, man. Shing Shang Chow, step it up, bro. Step it up, bro. Learn to shoot, defend. You're like 6'10". Come on, bro. Get your game in check. Goddamn bum. Dylan Brooks, stop trying to get at LeBron. You need to slap Shangun. Get him to play better. That he ain't getting talked shit about by the real star, KD. And the people talking about, oh, KD shouldn't be, he's talking to fans like this. Oh, surprise. Y'all love the snakes. Welcome to a real friend. Yes, Drake is his man's. He ain't going to talk bad about him, whether in public, he ain't dancing or not like us. He not at the pop out, and he won't be talking to y'all fan little group chat and saying nothing bad about Drake. Uh-oh, that's a surprise because all of Drake's former friends turned out to be snakes. I get it. I say KD. Y'all so used to niggas being two-faced, one way in public, behind closed door, hating like a motherfucker. That he's in public and he's saying, I ain't saying nothing. Yo, get off Kendrick dick, you bum-ass nigga. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, if it's KD, good job, KD. I don't know why KD don't tell niggas, like, yo, you're the greatest, my nigga. Like, you're one of the greatest. It's really you, Steph. It's you, Steph, and LeBron. This has been y'all era for so long. We don't give a fuck about other niggas. Kawhi, you barely play. You're like, come on, get out of here. It's only three people we care about. It's LeBron, KD, Steph. The rest of y'all, eat a dick. Let's keep it a bean. For the last, 10, 15 years? Come on, bro. Come on.
Not Shay, though.
Yeah.
Now you got Shay, though.
I think you should be able to say it. Say whatever you want. I'm surprised he ain't be like, yo, that bum-ass nigga Russell Westbrook, I have to get off his team. This nigga was dressing mad gay. I'm good. Yo, his DMs are probably treacherous.
Today I'm going to make a beat. We're going to Output's new plugin co-producer, play your beat. It's going to analyze it.
Yo, I had to get out of Brooklyn, man. Yo, this motherfucking nigga James Harden, he a big ass trick, man. That nigga was tricking all the hoes at Starless, man. This nigga wouldn't care about basketball. At least I was tweeting on Twitter. This nigga was just texting hoes, man. I'm good, man. Nigga would show up to practice, talking about the beard. This nigga beard was full with pussy juice, nigga. You would think it was beard oil, nigga. I'm good, man. This nigga only care about hoes, man. I'm good. Yeah. Man, get me out of Brooklyn, man. This nigga Kyrie think he the black messiah, man. This nigga over here, yo, this nigga dribbled for the whole practice. He ain't taking one shot. What do you think this is? And one? I'm out of here, man. Get me out of here, bro. I'm not staying here. What? Yo, man, get me over this bum ass Brooklyn Nets team, man. Yo, the
Hey, I'm a hustler on a mission. Grinding for that spot, a brand new pot to piss in. Trying to school my partners home, think they pay attention. I'm sticking to my vision on the road to the riches. Every single day, I'm a hustler on a mission. Trying to get 100 M's, nigga, I ain't kidding. I'm on a mission, 24/7.